I talked for a very long time. I said a lot of words without seeing that. I need to keep my, all good. I appreciate it. It's specifically this NVIDIA broadcast tool. It does weird stuff. Like I haven't shut my computer down, haven't done anything with it. Sometimes it just, it updates a lot. It has an update available right now, but for some reason, sometimes it switches the default input back to the main microphone. It changes the microphone source to the input that's not the microphone. And then we have problems. All we gotta do is switch it back. So, at least we know what we're doing today. We know what we're doing. So first off, let's start all over again. Let's take it back. Let's get it started. Just start from the beginning, start fresh. Penguin Airlines, welcome again to the stream. Yes, get an easy night. Yeah, actually tonight is going to be a pretty easy night, I think. We're just going to cover deeper into some Git topics. Tonight you got some maintenance, no problem. Passively listen, I think you'll be okay. Even though Git is a big subject, tonight, this is not the full Git masterclass, but it is going to take us deeper and deeper into the Git rabbit hole for sure. Andrew Graphics, it is good to see you as well. That is what we're doing tonight, is diving deeper down the Git rabbit hole. So we're not learning advanced Git topics, but we're going to make sure that you understand a lot of the other pieces. All we've learned so far about Git is the basic Git workflow and kind of what Git is. You learned about, the difference between Git and GitHub, those hosting repositories, and we learned the basic Git workflow, but we haven't done anything else with it. So we're going to understand what those things are tonight. Ain't No Profit, it's good to see you. Let's see. White Wolf, thank you for the call out of not being able to hear me. Everyone, thank you very much. You guys are always so kind about it. But it's good to see you. How you doing tonight? What's up, Zero Fate? It is good to see you. Crystallized Code, always a pleasure. Mr. Fortunato, welcome. Let's see, who else do we have on? Moto P, it's good to have you here. Mike, how are you doing? 01133X, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for the follow. Let me get this, let me get a little fan on in here. It's getting a little toasty in the room. Want to make sure that we can stay cool. Got our water, stay hydrated. It is not LaCroix, but one day it will be. What's up, Nasty? You missed 3 weeks of class. No big deal. No big deal. I missed 3 weeks of uploads. So, it is what it is. I need to upload everything for sure. They're here. They're recorded. They're uploaded. They're simply not posted. I've been crazy busy trying to do deliver deliverables, which is very, very exciting. Tonight's the night though. Tonight's the night where I'm going to tackle getting all of the uploads in order because they are already uploaded. I just need to, again, tag them with the names, titles, get all the information in there, which is surprisingly the hardest part. It's so tedious. I don't like tedious things, but it's all good. Not a problem. We'll get through it. No big deal. So if you're missing out on some of those, I'm sorry about that. I will get those up. It will also include, we're gonna start posting the Saturday office hours and the build series sessions as well. So keep an eye out for those things. But tonight, let's get started. What's up, Kinsley? Been lurking for a while, banging my head against some Java code. I get it. I understand 100% how you feel right now. If you need to, maybe it's time to take a step away. Come on back. Maybe your eyes will see the pattern instantly. But trust me, I've been there many, many times. We were there last night with some CI/CD stuff. If anybody was on, we had a lot of fun last night. Just kind of brute for I'm gonna stop doing that so much, to be honest. I keep saying I'm gonna stop doing it, but we were brute forcing a problem. We were just kind of running through and trying to create a build pipeline, and we're trying to do it on the fly pretty fast and just messing around with the application that we didn't really know about. And we had to fight through some things, but it was fun. It was definitely fun. What's up, all day? How are you doing? Okay, so let me get you all the slides for tonight. We have 2 sets of slides. We'll do our best to get through both. I think we will get through both. But we're gonna have to do it, to get through both cleanly, we're gonna have to do it in a bit of a compressed format. We're basically doing the middle of the Git masterclass of tracks, the Git masterclass. And so if you go to day 10, we do have 3 and 4. And so we're gonna hop into 3 and learn some of these things. I do think, let's actually go back and let's look at the slides from day 3. Let's do the quickest Git refresher ever so that everyone's on the same page as each other, and we can kind of move forward. So what was that? Not this day. Git cheat sheet. Maybe it was day 2. Okay. All right. Had an idea. It would be cool to set up pre-flight checklists for streaming that would check all the sound input. Yeah, no, that would be great. That would be really cool. The little pipeline project, that's actually a really great idea. It really is a great idea. Huh. The only problem with that is to do that, like to automate something like that, we probably have to write some PowerShell or some some batch files or something, which is fine. It's really not a problem. But yeah, that actually sounds like a pretty good idea. Cool. Let's switch over to Academy View. No, that is a really good project idea. I like that. I also like I was attempting to set up some automation to like change my stream title. Like I would basically set up the whole stream for the whole bootcamp, like all the stream titles and stuff beforehand, and have it automatically update based on like a, I was gonna figure out how to do it. There's a million different ways I could have handled it. And I just never got around to finishing it, to be honest. What's up, the mighty Magpie? Welcome to the channel. Good to have you. Also, Game with Tron, welcome to the channel as well. What's up, Sci9? I went for it. I think that's it. That's it. What's up, BPez? Good to see you. All right, so we're gonna just do a very quick Git refresher, super fast, real quick, before we get into the new stuff, the new Git stuff that you might not know about. But again, what's Git version control? Version control or source control management. You'll see that often, category of software that helps a team manage source code over time. What is source code? Take it on back. Remember those words. Source code is the human readable code that you yourself are going to write. Git, what is Git? Git is the technology itself, written by Linus Torvalds, okay? Don't get Git confused with GitHub, all right? Git is the technology. GitHub is a hosting platform for Git repositories. But what is Git? It is a distributed version control system. So remember, distributed, meaning that people can work on it in separate places. It can be worked on without a centralized code base. It's designed to help coordinate that work for any set of files. All right. So just understanding that it's distributed is super helpful, and that it tracks the changes to a code base, and that it creates these little patch files that tell a code base how to get from one state to another, and it exchanges those things with each other, and that's how it keeps things up to date in the special little database. Repositories are the space for the code base. There's space that tracks the files. So it's what holds the files and metadata about those files. So the metadata is just little bits of information about data, basically. We talked about some of the cloud hosting repositories. Well, I don't want to call them cloud hosting repositories, but we talked about some of the Git hosting repositories. GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, GitHub being the largest by a pretty substantial margin. Actually, GitLab being cool, being more than just source control or version control, and Bitbucket, the Atlassian product that has that gives you the same functionality as these things. Okay, they all are compatible with the Git technology, but Git is free and open source software, and then these are our tools to be able to hold and help help you do some management of your Git repositories. All right, so that was again, like I said, a very quick intro, and we learned the basic workflow for Git repository. When you want to make a change, all right, you make a change. Once you make a change, you need to tell Git to track that file with the add command. So you git add, and then after you do an add, you make a point in time save. You say, hey, I'm ready to save some stuff, and you do a commit, and the last thing you do is push. So git add, make a change, git add, git commit, git push. That is the most basic workflow for Git to update things. That is what we learned, but tonight we need to learn more about it, because Git is a big thing. That might have seemed simple, that might have seemed pretty easy when we first learned it, but Git it can be a beast. It absolutely can be a beast, and we need to learn the tools so we can get ourselves out of some pickles. What's up, Legon? So I have them uploaded. I just didn't put any of the information in to publish them, and I plan on doing that tonight. As of right now, there's no reason why I cannot do that right after the stream tonight, because there are a lot of videos that need to go up, almost 2 weeks worth, or a week and a half worth. So I'm planning on doing that tonight. So keep an eye on your notifications. They should be released tonight. They're already, what's it called? They're already processed and stuff. So you just need to put the information in so I can actually click the publish button. Are there any major differences between self-hosted GitLab and the online version? No. The only difference is simply that you must manage that underlying service. But no, there are no major differences. Oh, absolutely. Want to be dev, 100%. I'm glad, Learn with Leon is amazing. And I want to make sure I really hope that you're learning a lot over there, which I know you are. But absolutely, not a problem. Get ourselves out of some pickles. Seriously, yes, you will run into pickles with Git. One of the biggest problems, and I actually really encourage you all to find some other developers around that you're comfortable speaking to, that you're comfortable talking to. Find some people in the Discord, wherever. I think it's really important that you start to work on Git workflows with other people. What happens to a lot of people is they get lulled into a false sense of security because they have been practicing Git using a repository that only they work on. Okay, so if you're working on a repository by yourself, you are not going to run into the issues that you run into when you're using Git in the way that it's supposed to be used. Again, it's supposed to be used in a distributed nature. Okay, so multiple people, different places. All right, and there's a lot of things that brings up, and we're going to learn those things tonight and learn how to learn what tools we have available to us to be able to know what's going on and to get out of those things. Git is the number one, looks easy, yet you'll never fully get it subject. Yes, you never, 100%. There's so much I don't know about Git. There's so many times where I'm like, I need help getting out of this jam. And it is what it is. It really is what it is. What's our frequency hop? All right, so again, we've learned some of the basic things, but we have a lot to talk about. So these are some pretty important things, and this is going to be pretty helpful for you to go off and be able to do some things on your own as well. So this is actually not the one we want to go through first. We want to go through, let's go back up to 10. Actually, I posted, let me edit this right now. We want 2 and 3, not 3 and 4. So I'll add 2 really quick. All right, so 2 and 3, not 3 and 4. That has been updated. Let's go ahead and open up 2. I'll get you the link to check it out. Anyone with the link? There we go. Copy link. There you got it. Commands. Slides. And paste that in. All right, cool. So there you go. Hop on in there. Get ready to go. And now we can learn a little bit. All right, so this is not Tracks. Tracks is a shorter 4-part excursion that we do run. This is part of it. Again, with this technology, there's so much overlap. But if you want to spend 2 weeks, basically, four total sessions diving specifically into Git with a little bit more practice. Like tonight, we're going to run through the concepts. We're not going to get to do a ton of. We're going to do some stuff from the command line, but you're not going to get quite as much practice as you would get during the dedicated masterclass. All good, but there's a lot of overlap between all of these topics. Like you also learn containers and stuff if you are in pipelines and stuff, but we also have container courses and stuff. So all good. Today, here's what we're going to learn about. We're going to learn the terminology a little more deeply and understand what's going on. So cloning, branching and tagging, SSH versus HTTPS, and what that means in terms of Git, SSH key management, tracking changes and comparing differences, fetching and pulling, pull requests, and merging. We're going to try to get through all of these things. Yeah, I'm going to try to, I'm for sure going to get through this set of slides. Depending on how much time we have left, we might dive into the next set of slides, but we might not. I wanted to throw them out there so that you had them, and that if we had time, we could hop into them. But these are kind of the main next step things that will really round out your Git experience. Like if you can get these things, like once you get these things, you can maneuver, you can make it work. You can make it work with other people. You won't know all the tools yet, but you can kind of get going with these things. So number one, let's get started right up front with cloning. We've already done this before. You've probably already seen this, but Git cloning. What is cloning? Cloning creates a copy or a clone from another repository. So you take a repository and it takes a clone of that repository, okay? That clone comes with all of the history that ever existed for that repository. It comes with all the files and the complete history. That's what the clone does, all right? It gets all the information. It also sets up remote tracking for all the branches in the clone repository. We'll talk about remotes and some of this terminology as we dive deeper tonight, because that stuff can get pretty confusing. Dorian, thank you so much for the tier 3 sub. That's love right now. That's so much love right there. We got some new emotes coming in. I didn't realize that there were like multiple. I thought I had my emotes and those were my emotes. I didn't realize that you can get different tiers of emotes for different categories. So the same person who made the current emotes is making more for me right now. And they kind of have artists, what is it called? Artist preference. They can give me whatever they want. I was like, give me 5 or 10 of the best. Just pick your favorite emotes and just make them me, because a little bit narcissistic, and just it feels good to see a little cartoon version of yourself sometimes doing funny things. But I appreciate that. Thanks for the love. Thank you so much for the support. What's up, Coding Hacks? How you doing tonight? All right, so that is what cloning is, and we'll go through and clone a repository, but make sure you understand that cloning takes a repository from a remote location, and it does a full clone of it. So not only does it get the files that are inside of it and the metadata, it gets the full history of all of the project, all branches and everything. And it also sets up remote tracking, okay? So remember how we said Git is distributed. You can set up a place that is going to be the source for you to get information from about this repository and to keep in line with this repository. A remote tracking branch or remote tracking place that's going to be the place where you're going to be exchanging, that you can set up to where you can exchange patches from back and forth really easily. And so this will, if you don't set that up, you can download all of the stuff in a repository, and it'll give you the files. It'll give you some of the metadata, but it won't give you any of the history. You can do that, but what that won't do is allow you to get future updates and things. You've kind of split it off into its own thing, and you kind of got to mess with it there. Cloning allows you to not only get all the files, get all the history, but to also set up remote tracking so that you can keep your clone version in line with the one that is at the remote. Okay. Perfect timing for a GitHub workflow tutorial on YouTube earlier today. Yeah. I'm really interested. I personally really like learning about. I always like hearing about different people's Git workflows, because almost always it's very interesting to what people focus on when they set up these Git workflows, because it always surprises me on a lot of decisions. There's not a ton of variation on what you can do with the Git workflow. Well, there is, but there's not a ton of variation on what people actually do. But I always find it interesting why people chose what they chose. We'll talk about that. Hopefully we'll talk about some of that tonight. So let's go ahead and clone a repository. Let's go ahead and let's grab a random Git repository. All right, random one. We're just gonna grab a random Git repository. I'm gonna click the very first Reddit thing and hope. I was really hoping somebody posted one. Oh, random repo. Okay. Oh, randomrepo.com. Great. This is nice. I'm gonna grab a random repo. So, Looters GrimD, fast DNS proxy that can run anywhere, built to black hole internet advertisements. And okay, this is great. This sounds like a Pi-hole. So I'm just gonna click on it. You can click that and you can grab whatever repo you want to grab. You don't need to grab this repo for anything tonight. You can grab whatever repo you want. Everything that we're gonna be doing is completely independent. Whatever you grab will work for everything that we're doing. We're learning Git, not anything about the code in this repo. So we got some stuff in here. And if we want to grab this repository, if we want to get it and we want to, get the whole history and be able to track this thing, we can click this button right here and we can click the URL that's here for us to go ahead and clone this item. Now we're gonna learn all about this stuff up here a little bit later tonight, but just grab this URL, go to your command line, go to where you would like to, where you would like this folder to be saved at. And I'm gonna save it, right here. I'm gonna save it right here. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. So git clone, that is the command that you're gonna use. Pretty simple. Git clone. All right, it's pretty easy. Most of the git commands that you're gonna get, most of the git commands that you are going to get will be just the word that we are talking about. And we paste in that URL here. And so you can read the output here. It says cloning into grimd. So it's going to create a folder automatically based on whatever the name of the repository is. And it lets you know that it's going through all of the things that are at the remote. The remote is GitHub right now. That is going to be the main remote repository for us. It gets all the objects, downloads them all for us, and everything is good to go. Now we can see we have this folder here. And if we go into this folder, we have all of the files that we would expect to have, okay? So that's the clone command, all right? It's got everything, it's all set up. Now, if I try to make changes and try to push code automatically, it would actually know where to push it to. Now, I wouldn't actually have access because this is somebody else's account that I'm cloning this from, but it knows where to look for those things. I can pull updates from there. What I can also do, let me see, can you do like a git remote show or something? Git remote -v verbose. Can I do a git remote like list, git URL? Turns all URLs. Is that not what I did? -- all. Oh, all for name. It's master. Just want to see if I can get the remote for, I don't know what name's supposed to be. I don't know if it's the whole grimd. Is that what it's supposed to be? I don't know what name's supposed to go right there. I was trying to see if I could list out the remote, but the remote is simply going to be the URL. Whoa. Git /config. It's simply going to be the URL right here that is for the repository. Just lets it know where to go, and it sets up these things automatically for you. If you downloaded it, you could ultimately create this repository. And you could put this information in yourself and it will still work. It will still be set up. But it's nice when we don't have to do that. I'll get remote -- list. Did I try regular list? I feel like I did. No, I didn't. Tried it? Or is that 3? No, that can't be 3. Yeah, I think that's, well, unknown command list. Maybe it's just list. Okay, no big deal, not a big deal. I want to see if I can see all the remotes. Not a big deal. I usually go to the config, but it could be a number of things, whatever, all good. So we clone this repository. Now we have access to it, okay? Just looking by to say thank you for doing this. I'm already in the industry, but listeners who want to try, absolutely, absolutely. That is, we're just trying to expand access to this stuff as much as possible. Jimmy McRussell's, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. It helps me to go on and on and on. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate it. All right. Is that 3 dashes? I can't tell how many that is. Do you look at Kickstarter projects? I do. I do look at Kickstarter projects. I've spent a number. So my Kickstarter project record is bad. None of my stuff ever goes through. Right now, I did a Kickstarter for the EV monitors. I mean, they're fine, but by the time they come out, like I already basically got the monitors that I wanted. So yeah. Black Magic J, thank you so much for the follow. Good to have you. 2 dashes. That isn't that what I think that's what I put. Oh, -- all. Well, See, when I did so I did Git remote and then I did Git URL because it's right here. I did this one, Git URL -- all name verbose, maybe. Oh, there we go. Verbose. That makes perfect sense. Use the V, verbose, and we got our stuff set up here. Great. Phenomenal. You can make it super easy to see. Like I said, I usually just go to the config because that's the first way I ever knew to go look at these things. But yeah, try list. No, there's no sorry here. We you know, this is learning. Now I know what works and what doesn't work. Are you saying just Git list or Git remote just list? But yeah, dash V works, no problem. Have you read TFVC? No, I have not read TFVC. I don't even know what that is. I feel like I heard him say we cloned the suppository. No, okay, so we did not. You know, hey, if you want to clone a suppository, do what you got to do. I don't want to clone any suppositories. If I'm going to be honest, it should be a single broad server when you get a chance. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. I definitely will check it out. A single board. Oh, a single board server. I probably should have read that. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I am going to check that out. I'm definitely going to check that out. All right, so that's cloning. Let's move on to the next piece here because it's going to get pretty exciting this evening. All right, and so I told you how to do it if you wanted to do it, but we just did it live. All right, branching and tagging. This is what I want you to, I need you to understand this piece right here. Branching and tagging. This is probably one of the most powerful features. Well, maybe not most essential feature. I won't say powerful, but most essential features of Git and what you are going to do. Branching and tagging, and maybe it's more so branching than tagging. Depends on what your internal workflow is. But branching, what are branches? Branches are simply a pointer to a series of commits. I actually hate that. I had to put it there because that's actually what it is. So I wanted to make sure you knew that, but that's what the second line is for. A branch is simply a different branch of history. Do you all remember? You know, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Endgame, or maybe hasn't seen Infinity War. I hope you've seen it by now. It's been literal years, lots of years. So you all know when Doctor Strange, he's sitting up on the thing on the world where Thanos was, where they fought Thanos, and he's looking through all of the different branches that could go on from where they were now. All of the different possibilities of things that could happen. I forgot how many million he said, 14 million or something like that. But he went through every single one that all had different outcomes. These branches are different branches of history. If Git is tracking the history of this file, if the commits that are made are tracking the historical changes to this file, a branch allows you to branch off the history. It allows you to take from a point in time. It allows you to branch off and create a new timeline, basically. It allows you to create a new timeline. Not only does it allow you to create a new timeline, it allows you to then later on merge that timeline back into another timeline. You could take one timeline, one branch, and you can merge it at a point in time back into another branch, basically combining its history. And we'll talk about that a little bit more deeply. So how would you use these branches? What are these branches for? Why would you want to use this? So when you are writing code and you're developing things right now, you know, we've been always on the main branch, and we have a singular branch of history. Let's say I'm working on something and you're working on something. It works. You can do it. I can make some changes to the main history, and then you can make some changes to the main history, and we can do them distributed on our own places at a good time. And if I'm finished before you and I push all of my stuff to the history, now you've got to do some resolution. You now have to make sure you get my changes before your changes can be added. And it causes this conflicting scenario, okay? We'll talk about merge conflicts in a little bit, but what branches allow us to do is it allow us to leave the history alone. It allows us to leave a history alone, and it allows us to kind of create a new path for that history and to work on things in a separated space, work on things in our own little safe space per se, and make sure things are working, modify things, play around, get things into a good state. And once these things are ready, we can take these things that we've created in our branch and move them back into a main branch or whatever branch that we want to move them into. And it is super helpful to do. What's your first job or entry level job? What is the first job or entry level job one can get early in their cloud journey? That's a good question. Let's hop in and do some branches and we can talk about that. So for the cloud journey, that is pretty interesting. One, there are a surprising amount of junior cloud engineer roles. I've been actually floored by, for cloud engineers at least, there's a surprising amount of junior cloud engineer roles. But there's a lot of things, trying to get into even help desk or a NOC or so a NOC is a network operations center. Some type of junior sysadmin role might be super helpful as well for your cloud journey. Yeah. Someone showed me there's some interesting choices they've made, like some max RAM as the Pi 4. Oh, okay. For the server, I'll check it out. Same max RAM as the Pi 4 and the PCIe 2.0. Interesting. Yeah, I'll check out to see what, they were only asking for 6,400. They got 207,000. That's pretty interesting. All right, so different branches, okay? There is a git branch command, okay? And the git branch command allows you to manage and do things with git branches, with creating new, basically, histories for your code. And right now I can do a git branch list -a -r dash list. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Okay, this is all the ones they have here. But you can see all of the revisions of the history here. So you can see all of the different timelines this code base has taken, active or inactive. As long as they're available, you can see all of the revisions here. So master or main, that's going to be the main, it's called main now because that is the main history, okay? That's the main history of the code base, the main tracking history of the code base. We can go ahead and create a new branch here. So we could do, if we look at the git branch help command, again, we can do a git branch create, or we can not do it. We can just do a git branch in the name. But if we do a git branch create, and we'll call this, let's actually dive into this a little bit deeper. So a lot of times what people will use these branches for, just to give you a little context, is something called feature branching. So when you are tasked to do a certain thing, let's say, hey, Aaron, your job now is to, there's a Docker file in here. Your job is to make sure that you add the installation of Nginx into this Docker file, okay? And so I may, that's the feature that I need to enable in the system. And I might give my branch, you can give it whatever name you want, but I might give it a name like feature, add Nginx Docker or something kind of descriptive. Sometimes you will have story numbers. Maybe you'll have, something that's tracking the task that you have, and maybe that'll have a unique identifier. Maybe we'll use that to make our branch, but it doesn't matter. It's just the name here, and not a valid object folder. Oh, sorry, just, there we go. So I'm just gonna add it like this. And if we list it again, we have Nginx Docker here is now a part of our list. Don't worry about these two yet. This says remote, so this is just remote branches, things that are not local. But we created this branch now. The little star here tells us what branch we're on. If you were to run the git branch list command, it'll tell you what branch you're on. I also think if you just type in git branch, I think it will also list out what branch you're on. So it lets me know what's here. I'm on master branch still, but I created this branch right here, but I'm not on it. I created it, but I'm not on it. Also, for a little visual help, my terminal right now is telling you right here what branch I'm on to make it a little bit clear for you. Okay, so if we want to change branches, We're not going to use the branch command for that. To change branches, actually, I think there's a slide for this. I don't want to talk over the slides. Oh, there's not. Okay, to change to a new branch, you do a git checkout. This is pretty important. Git checkout and then the branch name. So we called it Nginx Docker. So git checkout Nginx Docker. Okay, this is how you get how you switch to a new branch. Okay, so I hit that. Notice how my prompt changes. It says, hey, I'm now Nginx Docker. If I do a git branch again, it now shows me that I am in Nginx Docker. Okay, now this is a very important piece right here. Very, very important piece. Whatever branch, because I did that the way that I did it, whatever branch you are currently on, it will use where you currently are, whatever point in time you're at that branch, it will use that as the base for the next branch. Okay, so I was on, well, you can specify it as well, but it branched off of master. I was on the master branch. When I did a git branch and created the new one, it basically took the history of master up until this point, moved it over, created a new branch of history, and renamed it. So now we have a new starting point, and we're starting from the same point that master is at currently. Okay, so we're starting at the point in time master's at in which we created. Okay, now the histories have now diverged. If we were now to update the main or the master branch, it would not reflect in this Nginx Docker branch because there's a different historical path for the code base. All right, that can be pretty confusing when you first do it. What's up, Surfer Chic or Chick? I mean, both work. I love them both. Let me know which one it is though, for sure. What's up, Martel? Good to have you. Welcome to the channel. What's up, Povero? Also amazing to have you. Jimmy Mac, again, thank you so much for the follow. Black Magic J, I think I already got you, but welcome. Good to see you. What's up, Amame? How are you doing tonight? Hope you're doing good. All right, so now we've created a new branch. There is another way to create a branch. Let's switch back to the main branch. How do you switch back to another branch? You can do a git checkout main, or it was master, git checkout master. Okay, and now I'm back to the master branch. And again, you can type in the git branch command to make sure you're good to go. I'm still here. Very, very exciting. You can also use, if you want to ever go back if you want to go back to whatever branch you just were on, this will be helpful for the future. Write this down. This is for later, but just do a git checkout minus. If you do a git checkout minus, it'll simply take you right back to the branch that you were on right before this. It's a nice little extra command. You don't need to memorize that, but one day it might be good to know. I step up for a sec. Thought we were doing all Git things. Suddenly I see Nginx and Docker. No. Just that we're doing all Git stuff. Just what we call this branch. That's all. Running late. Been a wild week moving family. It's not over yet. Ooh. Moving is the worst thing in the world. I completely understand. Don't sweat it at all. Take your time. Catch up. Another time. If you want to watch now and get this, you can do that. But it's all good. It's all good. What's up, Orle? How are you doing? Good to see you. All right, so that can go back and forth between branches. So there's another way to create a branch that you're probably going to see pretty often. So what we did is we did a git branch in the branch name, which created a new branch. And then we did a git checkout to switch to that new branch. So we created a new branch and then we switched to the new branch. There's another way to create branches, which you'll probably see people do pretty often. And that is git checkout -b. If you do a git checkout with a -b flag and then give it a name. So if I call this, this one I'll call our new branch. This not only will create a new branch for us, it will also check that branch out. So now you can see we're already on our new branch. Okay, we're already on our new branch. So if you do git checkout -b, that will not only create a new branch, but also check that branch out. So you can do it all in one command like this, or you can do it how we did it before, and you can do a git branch with the branch name to create the branch, and then you can manually switch over to it. Absolutely. I'm going to do my best to share Git tips. If you all have any Git tips, please share them. Git is a beast, and you all probably have run into things that I haven't run into, and we all probably touch different things, and we've all learned little cool hints and things that help us out. Wait, I just noticed the cool brain icon in the prompt and I'm jealous of it. Yeah. So this is, I use Pure Prompt. So if you weren't at the build Saturday or whatever, we went through kind of setting up your browser, your terminal, and I use Pure Prompt for ZSH, and I can make it whatever I want to make it. I can show you how it's done a little bit later. Let's see. What's up, Melky? How you doing? Yes, Melky, this is it. This is the stream where you learn how to do 500-pound plus squats, because that's all we do here. That's what we're learning Git for. If you don't know Git, you can't do big squats, okay? That's what we're here for. But if you all don't know, I think we've rated Melky Dev a couple times. If you don't know Melky Dev, let me give you a shout out for sure. Again, if you want to, especially for everyone in Decoded, if you want to learn anything, if you want to go build projects with people and have a good time, Melky Dev is definitely where you want to be. Also a Only Dev team member. Give him a follow, check him out. We can learn a lot together. All right, let's see. What's the difference between Git merge and Git rebase? Sin City, phenomenal questions. We're gonna get into Git merge. The difference has to do with how the history is managed, how it has to do with the way that it combines the code and the way that the history is managed, and we will talk about that tonight. Let's see. I switched to colorful prompt today and played around with it. I do not know how to customize the actual icon though. I'm sure there's a way. I'll show you. Yep, there is in your bash RC or your ZSH RC, depending on if you're using a prompt. You can definitely modify it. I knew there was a reason why I wasn't pushing 500, 100%, and now after today, you will be able to. Is there a good place to start for employment path? Soon it'll be right here. Yeah, so if you're trying to get employed, I would say, honestly, the place to start is to, if you are asking that as a start and you feel as though you are ready to go look for a job, flood the market. I would actually hit up all the recruiters in the area, just to maximize your chances. I think your first job, I think you simply have to flood the market. I think the other thing is it helps a lot if you can actively make connections with individuals, like reach directly out to people and start conversations. It really does help. But getting the first job is hard. It is the hardest. We will go deeper into how you do that. I think it's different for whatever discipline you're going to be doing in tech, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so Git branch, new branch history. We saw how you make one. We saw how you move over to one. You can also delete them. We're not going to worry about deleting a branch right now. It can kind of just sit here and be fine. But now, again, this is a new piece of history, and now we can begin to make development on it. So if you were to commit something to this branch, it would happen here, but it would not happen in any other branch. All right, Beep has been feeling a little bit disheartened with my progress lately, which is okay. I've been doing decently at 8 and 7 KYU Python challenges and meeting the test requirements, but notice my code is so verbose. Is it normal to write? Yes, 200%. BPES, absolutely 100%. If you're getting through those, that is great. That is 100% perfect. Yes, your code will be very verbose, and I'd argue that there is nothing wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with verbose code. Verbose code is generally more readable as well. There's going to be people who have different opinions on this. When super performance isn't the thing that needs to happen, and maybe if you're not working on a project with tons of other developers where merging and things are going to be super problematic, and your code base is going to be gigantic, when you're doing problems like this, I think it's very okay to do that. It's okay to feel disheartened, for one. It's important to look back at your progress and realize, like, oh man, like I'm finishing these things and I could never do any of these maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. and kind of taking a look at how far you've come so far, that's great. You know, you might catch me doing a couple sixes. That's it. You know, I'm only like one step ahead of you. Okay, I've been doing this for a while. You might catch me do some sixes. You know, I'll go do some fives, but it'll be gross. It'll be gross. Fours, it might not be any hope for me, but that's okay. You know, might not even be any hope, but that's okay. Dark Summoner, I really like the idea of asking someone out to lunch or coffee. Now it's kind of easier because you say, hey, you want to do a virtual coffee or something like that? It can be pretty helpful. Yes, those sixes are a big jump. Sixes are a huge jump. This is why I don't love, I wouldn't base everything off of these coding challenge sites, but because what it is going to get you to do is it takes a while, because right now as a beginner, what you're kind of doing is you're learning how to change the way you think about problem solving. Like you're learning how to think like a computer needs you to think, to be 100% honest. And it takes a little bit of time. Being able to, you know, if you're doing decently at 8s and 7s, you're doing great. 100% you are doing great. But we will start doing more. One thing we're going to change up once I build a little bit more capacity. Once we have some stuff on the roadmap, we're going to do some stuff where we're going to make sure every week we are getting to go through not just coding challenge problems, where we're able to like build things every week. Every week we'll be like have an opportunity to go through and like fight through some problems and see things get built and kind of understand those things. But yeah, it is it's interesting. Plus, want to reach out to recruiters. It does seem kind of weird, but you know, starting out, a lot of them are going to frustrate you because they're going to be looking for people who are. A lot of them are going to be looking for people who are, you know, mid-level and stuff, because it's easier for them to get them hired. It makes them more money. You know, all stuff like that. But a lot of them will absolutely take you under their wing and do their best to expose you to the job offers that they do have, because again, the more people they can put in front of someone, the better. And so they'll help you. You know, you're going to be working hard. You're going to be looking hard. They are going to be doing the same thing for you. And it kind of helps to add to that. My ideas on recruiters and the utilization of recruiters changes throughout your career. And maybe not changes, the way that you should use a recruiter throughout your career, I think changes. And I'll definitely share with you all that as well, how I feel about that. OMG Gretchen, good to have you. What's up, Jappa Guy? What's up, Git Turtle? Welcome. What's up, Martel? Welcome to the channel. Good to have you all here. All right, so branches are great. We're gonna mess around with some branches a little bit later with our own code base so that we can see how they work real time. And I'll start to take you through what a development workflow looks like, a full development, not just the add, commit, push. We will simulate what it looks like to be on a team and to have to mess around with this code. Tags. Oh, actually, so branches are simply a pointer to a series of commits. So remember, these commits are point in time history changes. A branch will point to a series of these commits in particular. So it'll just point to a bunch of them in a row, which will show you the path you need to take to get your code base to where it is now. Tags, on the other hand, these are pointers to a specific commit or moment in history. So notice the difference there. A branch is a pointer to a series of commits. All right. So a series of commits is a full history of that code base. A tag, on the other hand, points to one specific commit in the history. And these help you to manage your code in different ways. You can do things. Ssh Fritz, thank you so much for coming over and returning the favor. If you all don't know who Ssh Fritz is, part of the Live Coders team, does a bunch of dope stuff with Microsoft. You'll catch him over on Microsoft's channel as well as his own channel. Let me give you a shout out really quick. But does really cool stuff. If you ever want to learn any .NET stuff, if you want to learn anything, it's a great place to be. Also is helping build an amazing community of streamers who do code right here on Twitch and helping people, get exposed, helping people learn how to code, doing a lot of what we are trying to do here. But all around amazing guy. Go ahead and give him a follow. Seriously, check him out. Does some pretty cool stuff. Thank you so much for returning the love today. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Also, Fritz, we're partner now, and you were a big help in that. You were 100% a big help in that. Thank you so much for giving me some opportunities with the Live Coders team. I do appreciate that. I meant to thank you earlier about that. So I do appreciate it. Can't believe we did it. Can't believe we did it, but we did do it. So thank you. All right, what's up, everyone else? Bingle, welcome to the channel. It is good to have you. All right, so this is Git Tags. Let's make sure we can keep moving. I appreciate you all. Git Tags, again, point to a specific commit, not a series of commits, a specific commit. And you can use these for like saying, hey, you know, this point in time is when we had, this is when version 1 was good to go. This is when, you know, we've got all the code, version 1 is complete. Let's tag this point in time. So if we ever need to go back to a point in time where version 1 existed, we can use this tag to be able to revert to that thing. Or maybe, you know, a lot of people use it for versioning. Whenever you go to, a lot of people use them, a lot of people use releases for this now, but yeah, you can use that for tagging for a lot of different things. We've used them in the past to usually use it for versioning, and you can use them similar to how you can use branches. But again, they are referenced to a different thing, and so it changes the underlying way that you can work with them. But they're pretty easy to use. And thank you again. Thank you very much. I'm pretty excited about it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see how tags work. So we did some branches. Branches are great, phenomenal, very, very exciting. And it's gonna be, branches are gonna be the main thing that you're gonna use most likely. But to make a tag, so we're on our new branch right now, and I can do a git tag. I think if I just type in git tags, it'll list them. If I just do git tag, it'll show me all the tags that currently exist. Let's go into GitHub really quick and look at this repository. Right here, if you click the branch here, this is the one that we cloned. In here, we can actually look at all of the branches that currently exist. This is why we were only seeing one. We were only seeing master at first because master is the only branch that they keep in this repository, okay? But there's also these tags right here. And these tags, like I said, are pointers to specific commits in the history. And so we have version 1.06, 1.05, 1.04, all the way down that we can go to. And when you click on it, it takes you to a different point in history for this code base. It takes you to this very specific commit. So it's super helpful. Again, versioning is usually how you're gonna do it. We'll also talk about this thing that you see here. You see this v1.0.4. I can share some information with you on semantic versioning. Semantic versioning is a thing that, especially for you developers out here, something you should know about and understand how people come up with these numbers and how you are supposed to try to, if you were practicing semantic versioning, how you're supposed to practice these. A real light introduction is that this 3-digit number right here, the one all the way to the right, represents your patch version. Okay, so if you have a little patches, little minor tweaks and things that had to happen in this, if you had to make little minor changes to your code base, you make a patch version. You're like, I just gotta, like, you know, a spelling mistake or something, I gotta fix that. A patch version is what you would increment when you deploy the new thing. Okay, so no major, no like serious things in there. Patch versions for that. The next version, the next number over, is a minor version. Minor version, this is for you know, there may be some added functionality. There could be some functionality taken away, but generally not. Usually for added functionality and you know, little upgrades here and there that are helpful, but they are not breaking to the application. They don't break the application. They don't cause they don't cause any problems really. Is what you're supposed to, is how you're supposed to increment that. So if you make a change that adds some features and stuff, but like, it's okay if you don't have it, you might want to upgrade the minor version. And if you make breaking changes or significant underlying changes to the application, that's when you change the major version. So patch, minor, major is how you kind of handle that. I'll send you information on semantic versioning. It's something that's really good to know. It'll help you kind of understand when you look at like, oh, what version can I use? And you see, oh, like I'm already on 1.0.5. You know, do I really need to try to upgrade to 1.0.6? Probably not. Like, is that my issue? Most likely not. But you know, it does help out. But tag, so you can list it with git tag. Git tag. I don't use tags that often, so let me see. What's the command for this? I think it's -- new or git. Hold on. I think you can just do the same thing like branch. I think I can do like a git tag -version 2.0.4. And it does in fact create a tag. And if I do git, if I list them again, we can see that there's a 2.0.4 here, and it is going to be listed. It's going to be tagged at the current head. Okay, we're gonna talk about head in a little bit, but the current commit ID is where it's gonna be tagged. Right now, you don't know what that is. We don't know how to check it yet. We're about to learn how to check that out right now. So Git tags, again, allow you just a way to be able to reference a point in time commit if you ever need to go back to it, commonly used for versions, okay? Let's move on so we can get to some of the more exciting stuff, but okay. Now we're gonna dive into something that is good to know. We are not gonna dive deep into this. We will dive deep into this in the tracks class, but right now we're not gonna dive super deep into this. I want you to be aware of it. I want you to understand what's happening here so that you know how to move forward with what you want to do. All right, Moto P, have a good night. See you later. Thanks for coming through. Didn't know about Git Tag? Yeah, it can be super helpful. And we actually, when we get to the end, I'm really gonna try to save some time to talk about some Git workflows and like how you might do this stuff, but we used Git tagging almost exclusively. So basically each developer would have their own branch. And so when they had to work on features, they wouldn't need to create a new feature branch. They basically update, get everything from master, make sure they're up to date with master, and do some changes and do some tagging. It was interesting, very interesting way to do it. And it was specifically because of the way we were doing our containering. We were building our containers, and it worked. I thought it was super weird at first, but it worked out really well. But it just gives you another tool to use to be able to manage these things. You can get by without ever using tagging. You can also use it tagging to your benefit if you'd like to. I don't use them yet, you know, it's okay. I wonder if it'll be useful for Chef since everything, so it could be, yes, it could be. Did we use, I actually think we used to tag our Chef repo as well for versions. Yeah, it could be. All right, so SSH versus HTTPS. This is going to be helpful for you to be aware of, to understand. We're not going to set up SSH keys tonight yet. If we have time, we will, but I don't think we will have time. But let's talk about it really quick. HTTPS. If you haven't been following the pipelines course, you may not know about this protocol. What is a protocol? First off, a protocol is simply a set of instructions to be followed, okay? It tells you how to do something. So HTTPS is HTTP, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is how the internet works. This is a set of rules that that dictate the transfer of of data across the web, of images, text. Great. HTTPS is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. You know, when you go to your browser and you go to google.com and there's a little lock up in the corner, that is because your browser is accessing Google through this protocol, and it is it's secure. It runs over port 443. That's not important right now, but the data that's transferred in between them is encrypted. That's why it's secure. So the data that's in between is jumbled up so people can't easily decode it. And if anyone captures the data, ideally they won't be able to read it. And you use TLS certificates to make this happen. I want you to understand what it is, that this HTTPS is the same thing that is securing even github.com, this little lock. There's something called a TLS certificate here. It is securing the site. This is the protocol that we're talking about here. Just want you to know that that's that. And so you can communicate with GitHub or whatever your Git hosting repository is. You can communicate with it over HTTPS. That's fine. That's how you see me do it most of the time. And the way that you kind of see that is when we clicked on the code button right here to do a clone. Notice how it has HTTPS up here, and we can go ahead and grab this HTTPS URL to be able to communicate with GitHub over HTTPS and get our stuff. What's interesting about HTTPS is you can authenticate. You're going to be authenticating through basic authentication, and so that's username and password. So you've seen me type in my username and password from the command line before, and that's how it's going to determine that you are who you are and make things work. I've seen that SSL and TLS certificates, and you have to buy it. Is that right? Yes, you can get certificates for free now. That used to be a thing. You would have to spend a pretty good amount of money. They were not cheap. You would you would write something called a CSR, a certificate signing request, that says, hey, I would really like a certificate for this domain. You'd issue it to someone who was authorized to create one, someone like DigiCert or Symantec, and you'd submit it. They would verify that you were the owner of your domain. It will be, they had to call you on the phone, all this other stuff, and then they authorize it, and they create these certificate files for you, and they deliver these things for you. They would be expensive. I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of dollars, depending on the type of security that you needed and how long you needed it for, and you have to re-up on them every few years or so. This problem has been solved by just about everyone. There's something called Let's Encrypt right now that anyone can use, open source, that will allow you to do exactly this, create your own certificates. Also, the cloud companies, Amazon, Azure and stuff, they will give you certificates as well for free, depending on how you're using their services. You don't have to pay for certificates anymore nowadays. You can also create certificates on your own. But these are what are called self-signed certificates. The self-signed basically means is, hey, like, you created these things, so a browser doesn't know how to trust that you aren't tricking them. And so these companies that provision them, they are signing the request. They're saying, hey, we are a trusted authority on this, and we say this thing is good. It's good to go. And so you can self-sign your own. It does do the encryption, encrypts the data, but browsers won't give you the little lock, and it'll actually cause problems. They won't trust them. But yeah, yep, you used to have to buy them. Now you don't. You can buy them, but you shouldn't buy them. So your own brother doesn't trust you, sometimes it'd be like that. If you can, go ahead and get that trust back. If not, don't trust your brother either. That's my advice on that subject. Try to get it back, try to get the trust back, try to rebuild it. And if you can't, remove all trust from your heart as well. That's the answer. Oh, your own browser, not brother. I can't read. Yeah, your own browser, that's true. Your own browser will not trust you, and that's fine. So HTTPS, that is how it is accessing this thing. Again, this will allow you to put in your username and your password. All right. The other way to authenticate and to communicate with your Git repository is through SSH, or Secure Shell. Okay. This runs over port 22, and that's not important for this course. It's used to gain secure access to a shell on a remote machine. A shell being that interpreter bash or ZSH or whatever that's running on a remote Linux machine. SSH is the protocol that allows you to log into a remote Linux machine. You've seen me do it here on this class before, but you can use that same protocol to be able to authenticate with GitHub and get some information back. The way that you authenticate, so if you're using SSH authentication, you cannot use a username and password. This is no longer basic authentication. Username and password don't work. If you enable, this is just some helpful hints. If you enable two-factor authentication from the command line, in GitHub, if you enable two-factor auth in GitHub or GitLab or anything, you cannot use HTTPS to log in from the command line. You can't use it to authenticate from the command line. You must use SSH to authenticate, unless VS Code might do it for you because it has a special little plugin thing. But from the terminal, if you have two-factor auth, you must use SSH keys. Just a little helpful hint here. But SSH is how you're going to want to do it. What SSH keys are, it's a pair of encryption keys, okay? So it's basically like a lock and a key. And so, with these two files together, the key unlocks the lock. And then so you put one on the machine. So you put one on the server. This is how you would use it to log in. You put one on the server, and you keep one that you could make copies of, like the key itself, like a real key. You make copies of it, and whenever you're trying to log in from a computer, you present that file. It matches it up, and it says, all right, cool, I trust you. You got this public key. You're good to go. And what's nice about this is you no longer have to worry about passwords or anything like that. It is super duper helpful. The two files that come with this, the two things that are created, are a public key and a private key. Obviously, the private key must be kept private. The public key can be shared around to and used on whatever systems you want to use. But again, you should also be careful with that. Be careful with it, because if someone has your public key, they can log into your stuff, no problem. So dealing with multiple accounts can be problematic. We're not going to talk about that tonight. That's not a big deal. Let's yeah, so if you do want to use SSH authentication, you just simply clone it with this URL instead, and it will utilize a different protocol to be able to authenticate with it. So if I cloned a repo with SSH and I did not have SSH key set up, it probably it would, if it's public, it would probably allow me to download it. It would not allow me to upload or do anything to make any changes to it at all. They steal your crypto. They could steal your crypto. You're right. You need to be careful with that. How can I get Edge to use less memory? I'll put sleeping tabs 30. I mean, how can you get Edge to use less memory? I don't know if you can. So Edge now the problem is that Edge is now Chromium based, and Chrome and Chromium are absolute memory hogs. Absolute memory hogs. It's super absurd. Right now, on my main system, I think Chrome, which would be Edge, is taking up like, oh, it's actually not that bad. I lied. It's not that bad. It's only taking up like, nothing like a little 4 gigs of RAM taken up on my main computer. I wonder what it's taking up here. I don't have that much open, but let's see. Okay, 1.3 gigs, all good, not a big deal. Use Vivaldi. I said I do like well, pretty much everything good. I was gonna tell you to use Brave, but Brave is also Chromium based and also takes up a lot. Is there a browser setting? Is there a better browser for memory usage? Honestly, Firefox. Yeah, Safari. If you're on Mac, Safari will have, you lose features, but it's better for memory use. Opera, yeah, I think Opera's pretty good about it, but Firefox, like I said, is generally pretty good around it as well. But yeah, I mean, Chrome is Chrome's a fat pig. Okay, it is what it is. And so if you're wondering why Chrome is so wild, part of it is because Chrome, the same Chrome that you are using, is also the base of Chrome OS. And so they have a bunch of stuff in there that's tries to give you the best experience all in one thing. It is good. I mean, the features that they packed in there are pretty good, but you got to have some power to make it work. Worth noting that public keys are stored within GitHub and accessible using the .key suffix. Yep, with username 100%. That is absolutely worth noting. So you would actually go into your GitHub, and you would go into your settings, and there's a space for you to add in SSH and GPG keys. You can also use GPG. I always forget about that. I don't use them, but you can get those from here, and you can set them up in there, and everything is good to go. I can present you a video. I'll try to let me grab it right now. Actually, let me paste the video in where we set that up, so that you have it in case you want to set it up yourself, because I do recommend setting it up yourself. We just don't have time to go through it tonight. Tracks is what I never put up. Tracks is the one that I lost on my hard drive. Okay. Maybe at the end. Maybe. It's already 8:10, so probably not. All right, let's keep moving. Now, tracking and comparing changes. This is what do we know about Git so far? Let's cover what we know about Git so far. We know that to copy a full code base and its history, we can clone it. We know that once we get it, we can make changes. We know that we can run the Git Status command to know what's going on. We know that we can, if we want to track changes to a file, we want to tell Git, hey, go ahead and track these changes. We know about the Git add command. We know that if we want to actually make a point in time change, make a change to the history of this code base, we use the commit command. And we know if we want to get it up to into GitHub and make it go to our remote, we know we use the push command. We also learned about the branch command that allows us to make a new historical version, a historical path for our code base. We also learned about tagging, which references an individual commit, a specific point in time commit here. Now let's learn the extra little things that are going to help us start to put it all together. So tracking and comparing differences, okay? How can I see the history of the code? How do I know what happened to the code, okay? In GitHub, we can see that. Did I close? Why did I close that? Look, I recently closed. Bookmarks, history. What did your profile, and then back. Okay, I forgot which repo we were in. So you can see the history in GitHub by simply clicking on the commits here. It says 53 commits. Each commit is a point in time history, point in time in the history of the code base. And check this out. We can look at all of the entire history. We can see what happened since the very beginning of this code base. I can go all the way back to the initial commit, and each one of these, I can see what was changed. I can click on it and I can literally see what was changed at this point in time. So this was the line that it used to be, and it looks like they added in all this stuff right here that's green. You can see every change that was made to this code base. Super helpful. But how can I see that stuff from the command line? How can I see it through Git? And the way that you can do that is with Git Log, okay? Now, Git Log is great. It is a little bit hard to read when you are first getting into it. There are some better options. I'm going to show you Git LG in a little bit, but Git Log right here is going to start to give you some information, and Git Log perfectly mirrors what we just looked at. So it does give you that, and it shows you the commit ID, the unique commit ID. Whenever you see head, that's going to be, that's going to be where you currently are right now. You can also see that it's tagged here. So our branch, our tag, and it's going to have the information that was given when this thing was committed. So it was a merge pull request, and we can see some stuff here, and we can simply scroll down and start to see the entire history. We can see when it happened, who did it, and what was done. Not incredibly easy to read at first, but it'll get easier and easier for you to read. This thing perfectly matches this thing here, okay? It's the exact same stuff, and you'll start to see that these commit IDs are going to match. So this commit ends in 9ECD3, and this one ends in, oh, actually, this one's a little bit different because I created a new branch. Yeah, because I created a new branch there, so that's a little bit weird. But yeah, and it merged those two things together. But yeah, you can see the whole history there. Now, there is a command that's a little bit better, and a lot better. I don't even know if I have this set up on this machine. All right, Git LG. This is helpful. This is much more helpful, okay? This is the same output. Now, this will not work for you. I will have to give you the command for this in a second. If you want to do this. This is a much more visual representation of what happened in the code, and this is super helpful. This visualization over on the left, hard to understand right now, but on the left, it's showing kind of the main line that things have taken. Everywhere you see a star, that's when a commit happened, a point in time change, but you can see how things were branched off. So, as history was moving upwards like this, a branch went off here, changes were made, kept going, and then it was merged back into the main line. So you can kind of see when things were created and how they were added back in. You can start to see that there's stuff up here, like, okay, that was already merged back in. Everything's been merged back in, so there's nothing outstanding. Whoa. But it's super helpful for you to understand what's going on. This was Git LG. You're not gonna have Git LG. The reason why you're not gonna have Git LG, I always forget the Git dash. I always forget how to look at stuff in the Git config, but I can just look at vim .git. I'm in the global Git config, so /.git config. Here it is. So if you run this command right here, it's gonna be gross. Hold on, Git Log. If you run Git Log, oh darn it. If you type in Git and paste this in, you can get the same thing. So I'm gonna copy and paste this to you really quick. But you can save it in Git so that you don't have to do that over and over again. Dope, what's up, Unique ID? Good to have you. So if you paste in that command, it'll work for you. No, I don't think Git list will do it. I think I have to do like Git config. And then I think I have to do like a -- global list. global. Okay, and it'll set up an alias for you. If you run, I don't think that's a command for it. Let me look it up really quick. I don't remember how to automatically add it to your Git config. Git LG. Okay, here it goes. Here it goes. I'll share this whole thing with you if you want to learn a little bit under this. And if you want to add it to your, if you want to automatically add it to your Git config so that you have it forever, you can just run this command right there. What's up, Coach Spent? How are you doing? Sorry for the shout out attempt. I had my chat pop out still. Oh, all good. It's completely fine. I don't, it's okay. First off, hold on. If you rated me, I missed it. But if you're just here, both are great things. And it's good to see you, Coach Spent. Shout out to Coach Spent. Oh, sorry. Woo. I went to bed extra late last night and woke up extra early, and I have to do the same tonight, but it's okay. You know, I make my own hours, so if I want to sleep in the middle of the day, I can sleep in the middle of the day. I just couldn't do that today. Okay. This command helps. All I want you to know about Git Log is that it again, it's a little bit hard to read at first, but it just shows you when things happen. So if you're like, hey, like I'm looking for a commit, like did I actually do that thing? You can use Git Log to see the commits that are in here and when they happened. You can see how long they happened, how long ago they happened. And it as you get better at Git, I'm showing you this. I'm not expecting you to understand what this looks like right now. What might help is for us to do this really quick. This actually might help a lot, maybe, or it's gonna be useless. So one interesting thing about Git is, there's actually a few interesting things about Git, but a lot of people like to show a Git timeline going linear straight up like this, okay? So maybe this is the main branch and we start from here. Every little dot is a commit, just like we were just looking at. And so, time moves forward, kind of. It doesn't really work like this, but it's okay. Time moves forward, and we say, okay, we've implemented feature 1. We did it on main, but the way that you would kind of do it as developer, you say, cool, well, developer 1 has to go implement feature number 2, and so they'll branch off. All right, starts another one. They'll branch off, and these two things will be the same at this point. And then what they'll do is as you make little changes to get closer to making this feature complete, maybe it'll take 1, maybe it'll take 3 different commits to make this better, to get to where you want. When you're ready, once this is where the feature is complete, you will merge it back into the main line, okay? But it's possible for things to continue on throughout this process. So maybe at this exact same point, maybe this is a new sprint. This person goes over here, developer 2 creates something, gets it done in a single commit, and merges it back in right here. Okay, so it might look kind of confusing. This is great. What I do want you to know is that for this green one, for that green one to get there, somewhere along the line, this has to get into here. It's got to get into that other code base to make sure things are okay. Generally, that'll happen up here. It's okay, but all the changes are going to end up getting in there before these things to get merged in. So whenever we get to here, this commit right here will have everything that's here that's been merged back in. It'll have everything by the time it gets to that point right there. So it can get kind of confusing. But, also you might have extra branches. It's kind of weird. I don't really like this, but some people will, you can branch off of here and create a whole new history that goes all the way down here and eventually gets merged in here. But it can get super confusing. This is why Git can be really confusing. And imagine all these different branches are different developers working on different pieces of the code. Yeah, I did get water for sure. So it conceptually, at first it's kind of simple. Like when you first hear about it, you're like, okay, like I kind of get it. When you start to dive into it, it gets confusing to kind of keep up with what is going on. So let's Git Log is how you're gonna find out the information that you have. So Git Status is one way to get some information. Git Log is to find out some other information. Also, we got how do you see what is different? Okay, Git Diff. So this will only show you something if you've made some changes. So if I do a Git Status is something you should commit to memory. You should keep running Git Status to know what's going on. Nothing to commit, nothing has changed. So if I do a Git Diff, nothing will show anything. It won't show anything. There'll be no output because there's nothing different. Let's go ahead and let's change something here. What's up, 19 King Panda? Welcome. Sorry, I've been ignoring the follows for a little bit. What's up, Lancer? Ooh, you just a little bit of Erlang? I don't know. What's up, Lancer? What's up, Hello 7? Good to see you. Welcome, Ronan Wilco. Ronan Wilco, I feel like you followed me yesterday and then unfollowed me and then refollowed me. Maybe not. Maybe there's another Ronan yesterday as well. What's up, Darmore, the Planeswalker? I like it a lot. What's up, Ace? Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome to the channel. What's up, Flat Ballin', Data Rich, ACDILR. I really got to make the font over here much bigger because I cannot see. What's up, Drew? Drew, very interesting story. Real fast story about Drew. Had a quick nickname at my last job, which was Drew, because we went to not karaoke, we went to trivia one night, and a woman from Illinois, she got her and her family and some friends were there, and she got drunk, and she proposed to me, and she came over and asked me what my name was, and I said Drew, which is not my name, and then people on my team called me Drew for a little while, so I just threw that out there. I don't know why I told you that. Now you know a little bit more about me. Now we're closer. We're best friends. Thank you so much for following. It's good to have you. What's up, Absolution? What's up, Derbingle? Welcome, everybody. What's up, 5EQ square root, of 25? Oh, 5 equals the square root of 25. You know, you read something twice, you get it. There we go. 5 equals the square root of 25. Good to have you here. Sometimes we're smart. Most of the time we aren't. So welcome. Okay, so Git Diff will show you the differences between files. I've made no changes, so Git Diff won't work. Let's go ahead and edit records.go, okay? This is so for everyone who came in this new, we literally grabbed a random repository off of GitHub. And so I don't know anything about this, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna modify resolver.go. And we're gonna go down to the bottom, and we're gonna put in our whole new thing, and we're gonna say, we're gonna make something called Aaron, a variable called Aaron, which is equal to the string is the man, comma, the greatest of all time. All right, so we've made a change to this code base. All right, we've added a new variable. Oh, actually, I mean, it's gonna give us some errors. We gotta use it now. We gotta use it. And now we're gonna format.println. This is not gonna run because, we're just trying to, do the things that we learned. Format.println, and let's go ahead and use Aaron in there. Now this is real go. It works. Good to go. So now if I do a Git Diff, check this out. It tells me, it shows me instantly, really quickly, what has changed in the repository. What is it checking against? It is telling me what has changed since the last commit. All right, remember, commits are that point in time change. Just when you want to actually save a point in time history, make a history revision to the file. It checks against the last patch, basically. If you've ever used diff in Linux, this is just like diff in Linux, and it's saying, hey, what is different from now and then, and it shows me the pluses, show me things that were added. Let me go back in here and let me remove something. Actually, no, let me do it from a different file. Let's go into utils.go. And we're gonna go down here and we are gonna delete this line, and we're gonna delete this line, and we're gonna change main to main line, whatever. Okay, we made some random changes, and if we do Git Diff, we still get all the changes, and it's very clear what happened. In this file, which is resolver.go, we added these lines. All right, the pluses and the green says we added it. Goes to the next file, which is utils.go. It says, hey, I removed, like this package main used to be there. It ain't there no more because now that line is package main line. We remove this one and we remove this line. So it tells you all of the differences that exist. This is incredibly helpful. Let me show you something else because you all have been using VS Code. This is why people really love VS Code. I'm gonna open this up in VS Code. VS Code's Git integration is incredibly powerful, okay? Right here is the Git integration. I've made 2 changes. If I go back to the command line, and actually I'll just open up the command line here, and I do a Git Status, okay, it tells me, you know, I've modified these 2 things. I've made 2 changes. VS Code's integration right here will say, hey, you made 2 changes. And we'll look at it, it says, hey, these 2 things have been modified. Same thing we have right here, make it a little bit larger for y'all. It's the same thing that we have right here. Great, phenomenal. We made some changes. It's letting us know that we made some changes. We can click on it, look at that. We can see the exact changes that were made in a visual manner. It's really nice. It is super nice. It's also super helpful in VS Code to for doing merge conflicts. We're gonna get there tonight. But if you want to see, you know, if you want to easily see it in VS Code, if you're a VS Code user, you can click the little Git icon source control over here, and you can easily see what has changed. If you're unsure if the things that you've done have been saved, or you know you're unsure what's changed since the last commit, you can easily see what has changed since the last commit. But again, to do that from the command line, simply do a Git Diff at any time. You can also do it on a specific file. So I could say Git Diff resolver.go and only see the differences for this file if I want to isolate just this file. Completely okay for you to do that. What's up, Interstadial? Welcome to the channel, Scotty Son. Good to have you, Scotty Son. All right, so diff is how you find out the differences. So pretty helpful there. What else we got? Fetching and pulling. Let's we might have to create a new repository for this in a second. Okay, fetching and pulling. Let's talk about this really quick. Fetch. What does Git fetch do? You might use it. A lot of people don't use Git fetch on its own, but it is helpful. What Git fetch does is it fetches updates from GitHub. Now I should have put the remote. That's why I put or wherever right here. I wanted to be very clear what was happening though. It gets updates from GitHub and updates the remote references, but does not merge the code into your local references. I know that may sound wild. All right, that probably doesn't make any sense to you. But what fetch does is fetch says, all right, Git, go ahead to the remote, which in our case is GitHub. Go there, and I want you to get the information about what's been updated in our repository. Go ahead and get the info, but save it into your repository data, but don't update what I'm working on. Don't update my actual files that are in my repo. Don't touch that stuff, okay? Don't merge that data in. Just get those updates that tell me, you know, those patches and stuff that help me get to where we're supposed to be, but don't change the stuff I'm working on yet, all right? A lot of people don't use fetch, but it's good because you can grab some updates and not get any conflicts. You can just get that data locally and you can continue working with your code base in the way that you would want to work with it. We're not gonna do an example of this. We will in a little bit, but Git fetch, that's what it does. A Git pull, on the other hand, all right? A Git pull, if you ever make changes to a repository and you need to grab those changes, Git pull does a fetch. It does a fetch first, so it grabs the reference updates, but then it also merges them into your local data. So it actually updates your local files. Jimmy, Mac Russell, thank you so much for the support. Thanks for coming. You found me today and you already, you supported the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You are helping us be able to not only extend access to education for all of these technologies, but what you're also doing is helping wage the war on advertisements. We talk about that a lot, but someone mentioned to me, so I don't know how true this is. Someone let me know if this is true or not. Apparently because we just got partner, maybe there's no more ads. Maybe none of you get ads. I don't know. Someone said that, or is it that I don't get ads on anyone's video when I go to someone's video? Someone told me that. But either way, Jimmy McRussell, thank you for helping the community. Also, thank you so much for helping wage the war on advertisements. We don't like to sit through 30-second unskippable ads. I don't know. I don't know if it helped or not with partner, but you definitely helped the people who got it. Everyone who received a gifted sub, please thank your gifter for being so kind, being so helpful. You might end up getting a contract that requires you to run ads manually. Yeah, maybe. But when that happens, we'll also run a disclaimer at the bottom that says this does not change our stance on the war on advertisements. Okay, we'll say that, or all the ads will be just to give you a little insight, Jimmy McRussell. I'm working with companies right now to bring jobs to the channel. So like to be able to feature jobs where they're actually looking, they're really looking into the community for people, and they really want people to apply, and they really want to connect and interact with people. And so those are going to be the advertisements that you're going to get. They're going to be actual pitches for roles so that you fully understand the role, so that you can, get ready to, get all going. We're setting up all the designs for it now. That's really the only holdup. We got jobs at the ready actually, which is pretty exciting. So I saw an ad when I first hopped on before I resubscribed. Okay. All right. So maybe I don't see ads anymore, but I don't know. We'll see. ZZ41, thank you so much for the follow. CP14, good to have you. Thank you so much for the follow. Constant Questioning, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. All right. So git pull. Fetch goes ahead and gets all the updated data, but doesn't change the code that you're working with. That code that you're working with is what we saw right here. This code that I'm actually working with, a merge will say, all right, go ahead and get those patch files. Those patch files will say, what lines have changed and stuff. Merging will allow these patch files to basically go in and update all those files to make those changes that we need. Fetching just gets the data, doesn't change what you're working on. A pull, on the other hand, gets the data and merges it all in, so it changes everything that you're working on. All right. We can see, we'll go ahead and do that. Where can you see what has been fetched? It'll give you a little readout when you do it, but what it's fetching and getting updates for references for is inside of the .git folder. There's a hidden Git folder. Inside of the .git folder, there are these refs right here for different things. And it'll change everything that you have. I didn't mean to go to that folder, but it's updating the things that are in here. So the repository, that full history, all of it is right here in this .git folder, okay? All of it is right here in the .git folder. Yeah. So the purpose, I think that the purpose of fetching and not merging it into your local code base, is, I think, you can fetch, I guess you can pull on anything too, but you can fetch for branches that you are not currently on. And I think you can merge data that you fetched. So if you fetch data, the references get updated. I think you can use that data to merge into maybe another branch that you're currently working on, and you just need to get the updates down so that you can get them in. Maybe other than that, I don't know. I never fetch without merging, but that's because I purposefully my Git workflow is to make sure that doesn't happen. Like there are times in which it might have been helpful to fetch, but I still would have had to resolve some of the same errors and things that I had to resolve. But yeah, I don't know. If anyone has a use case for when you fetch and when you like to use the fetch command, let us know. If someone does a fetch, then push, will there be a merge implied if there's a push? So I don't think it'll allow you to push if you fetch the updates, but your updates aren't committed to your local. It'll make you merge first. Like it'll make you apply the merge before you can push. It won't allow you to push without applying that merge at all. All right, unless you force push. You can force push, that'll break everything, but yeah. So yeah, so fetch just gets the references, the reference updates, but doesn't merge it into your local. Pull both fetches and then merges. So that is pretty helpful there. And we're gonna see all these things. I'm trying to just give it all to you so I can take you through a full workflow. And yeah, the last two things we're gonna learn tonight, at least, are pull requests. So PRs, pull requests. This is a bad name. Yep. Git pull actually internally calls it fetch first. Absolutely. Pull requests, terrible name for this. That's what a PR stands for. You'll hear people say PR all the time. PR stands for pull requests. What it does is it allows a branch to be reviewed by others. Okay, this part is very, very important. It allows this branch to be reviewed by others with the intent of merging this branch into the main branch. And it says main branch right there because this is the general use case. It allows someone to review your code to be merged into any branch. It doesn't matter, like Git doesn't care that the main branch is the main branch. It's just a word that everyone uses to identify their top priority lineage of their code. You can merge anything into any branch at any given time. And so that might allow you to do that. All right, peace out, Unique ID. Good to see you. To let you know that there are updates. If you're working on a team, it'd be good to know so you can decide which direction to merge. That's a great point. That's 100% a great point. I do agree with that. Git push dash F Skywalker, dash Skywalker. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what a PR is, but a pull request is really a merge request. You are requesting for this code. You say, hey, I've made some changes to this code. I'm requesting to merge this code into this branch. All right, I want to merge my code back into the main line, and I need you to take a look at it and approve this thing. Pull request, I guess pull request says, hey, I'm making a request to do the same thing. I want to merge my code in the main branch, but basically I want you to pull this code, I guess, and look at it. Maybe that's why they called it pull request. I don't know why they called it pull request, but they do call it pull request. You can see here, there's a pull request tab here, and there are none here, but we can look at some of the closed ones. We can look at some closed pull requests, and you can look in here, and when you get into one, you can see how many commits there are, or that there have been that you're checking out, and you can see what has changed. So I can see this information right here. Let's see if we can find a bigger one. This is a big part of programming on a team, understanding how to get comfortable doing pull requests. Fix reload lockup. So this one has 2 commits. So they made 2 changes in the history, and they made changes to 3 different files, and we can see the changes that were made. So we can take a look at it. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take this branch, you're supposed to download it, you're supposed to run the code, test it, have a good time. That's what you're supposed to do, but everyone doesn't do that. But it's a way for code to be reviewed before it is merged into any type of branch. So it's adding a check phase, a manual check phase from your teammates or whoever, so that you can be confident that the code that's been written matches is good enough, that you all agree that it is sufficient enough and solves the right problem to be merged into your bigger code base. We ever have a simulated example of a code review looks like ideally on a team? We can do that right now. Do people only write notes, or do they sit down with people with a PR comment? So that's actually a really good idea. That's a really good idea, to do some live code reviews, like as if we were on a team. Yeah, we can definitely do that, but it depends on your team, and both things generally happen. A lot of times, what I see happen is the people will only meet if there's a problem, or if there's a large PR. Sometimes a PR might be 20 or 30 files. It happens. And so if it's a large PR, maybe you would want to understand what's going on. So some companies implement, you have to talk to the person and you got to sit down with the person, but that's kind of time consuming. So a lot of times people will comment if they see sometimes they'll comment with encouragement of like, hey, I really like how you deconstructed this data here. I really like how you implemented this loop here. I really like how you're handling this function right here, how you split these things out. People may comment that if they like your coding style, but again, a lot of it can be tough because it is it's what, subjective. I don't know. I don't never remember the subjective or subjective. I think it's subjective. But a lot of times they'll comment if they like something, or they'll just comment if they have a question about something, and you can respond in the comments. Or if there's an issue, they'll comment and they will request changes if you did something wrong. But yeah, I mean, I think if you have time, I think it's good to meet with the person. to help better understand. It's also a really good practice to be able to explain what you did and why you did what you did. And I want you to be very clear. I want you to be very clear. I want to be very clear that one of the things that's frustrating when you first start doing this is it becomes hard for you to explain why you did what you did, because you are trying to explain why you did what you did compared to something else that you may not be aware of. You don't need to do that. You can be like, hey, I did this because this is how I know how to implement this thing, and this is what I was trying to solve. And that can be the answer, and someone can show you a new way of doing something after that. John Wonton, thank you so much for coming through with the 20 gifted subs. The war rages on against these advertisements. Since now I know you're still getting advertisements. John Wonton has by far been the biggest gifter on this channel. Thank you so much for the love, for the support. We can't do it without you. We couldn't do it without you. I truly do appreciate it. All of the people who received these gifts, please thank your gifter, the kindest gifter there is. Thank you so much, John Wonton. It's really, really good I really, really appreciate what you've done. I will never take you for granted. 100%. Pretty crazy. That's pretty wild. All right. My biggest question to someone entering this industry is doing your own code review before you request one. Walk through your own code and ask yourself questions about how it works and why. Login nuts. That is some of the best advice that I've heard in a long time. Yes. I wish someone would have told me to do this before I ever had to go through code reviews. One of the biggest reasons is code reviews can seem so daunting, because when you are unsure of yourself, and you're going to be like this early on, when people are just asking you questions, it can make you self-conscious, because you're like, I don't know, like I did what I did because I wanted to solve this with a loop. I wanted to use a loop so that I could go through these things, and this is how I know how to implement a loop. That's a good answer. Like, that is an answer. And the person can say, oh, cool. That's great. But but you can also try this out. But a lot of times you get tense and like, I don't know. And it can be very, very frustrating. Walk through it, say, hey, I did what I did because this is what I know, but try to do your best to say, hey, all right, I did use a loop because I knew I needed to go through this collection. And after I go through the collection, I wanted to make sure I added this data to every item in the collection, because that's what we needed to do. And practice walking through it, practice talking through it, and because that's where the confidence comes in. If you can just say, if you can confidently say what you did, whether or not it's the right thing to do, it'll make you feel much better about it, less self-conscious about it, and generally it'll also provide more constructive feedback. People will give the worst feedback when you're unsure of yourself. I really hate I've been in situations where there's been really bad feedback given. Everyone isn't great at giving feedback, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. Also, at the end of the day, remember that in code is the quality. Code quality, I don't care what anybody says, code quality is very, very subjective. Till the day that I die, I will never stop arguing this. And that's why I really want to spend some time working I wanted to spend some time working specifically as a software dev, because code quality is such a debatable topic. And what quality equals is completely different based on so many different factors. And so it's okay if someone's like, no, you gotta do it this way. Some people will adamantly tell you something should be some way because someone told them that 2 years ago. Someone told them that in a same scenario, and they're like, okay, I'll hang on to that. And now they're trying to pass it on to you this is the way to do it. You gotta do it this way. Well, no, that's not true. Maybe could be the right way, but talk about it. If you feel strongly about what you did, stand strong on it. It's okay. Are there good GitHub alternatives with no sign up required? Scotty son, you can install your own GitLab account, but you still might have to sign up to be able to get to the downloads. There probably are. Well, Git itself is the repository. You don't have to push your code anywhere. With no sign up requirement, if you want to push your code elsewhere without signing up, I'm not sure how you would control access to it. So I don't know. I guess I don't know how that will work. but I mean, you can just use the you don't have to push the code anywhere. Once you commit that code, I mean, for the most part, you've done your job. Is it common to find yourself at a job that does not have code reviews? No. I mean, well, no. Unless you're the only dev, unless you're like only devs. Unless you're the only dev, I highly doubt you won't do any code reviews. You may not do it. You may not do in-depth code reviews. Y'all might trust each other enough. Your team might trust each other enough where y'all like put it up and you look at it and it's like, it's good. I wouldn't recommend that, but yeah. TDD, test-driven development, that works too. But you're gonna do some code reviews. I feel like code reviews on a good culture team will be very beneficial, 100% very beneficial. You learn more through the code review process. If you have a team that's open and good at communicating, you can learn. Code reviews supremely accelerate your learning. Here's why. Code reviews, especially when you're fresh with a problem. Let's say right now you were to go onto Code Wars or Exorcism and spend 30 minutes fighting through a problem, and you get through it and you submit it immediately for a code review, and in 20 minutes someone responds with some questions like, hey, why did you do this, why did you do that? Again, a lot of times if your team is good, if people on your team are good, they will say, hey, I like what you did here. Your logic is correct, your logic's right, you got to the right answer, but there's this cool, maybe you didn't know about this cool, we can simplify this by doing a lambda function, a little arrow function here, and maybe we can throw an anonymous function over here, or actually, hey, you could have actually passed in another variable, another value to this function and made it a little bit easier for yourself. And people are like, oh, cool. Like, that's pretty cool. I didn't really think about that. Just different styles. But a lot of times it also is, hey, you could have tried this, but like, you don't need to change the code. A lot of times it'll be like, just for the future, you can try something like this, but we don't need to change anything. Like, the code works, it's readable, all good to go. So yeah. Callow, what's up, Callow? Shout out to Callow Creation. Thank you so much for that. Yep, we finally did it. Took a long time, but we finally did it. I think I applied 3 times. I think I could spell it right. So perfect. But yeah. What's the point of committing code if you don't push it? Isn't backing it up, sharing it online the point? David Graff, so while I think that backing it up and being able to share it is beneficial, I wouldn't even put sharing it there. Backing up the code is beneficial. Committing the code still creates that full history. That full history, being able to revert your code back to something else, super helpful. You can simply, if you want to back it up, you can completely copy your folder over to a thumb drive, but you're gonna have to keep copying it every time you want to update it, make sure it's good to go. But you could back it up that way if you wanted to back it up. But committing locally, and never pushing it is still fine, because you still have a history of that code base. If you need to revert back, if you need to go back, if you need to grab something that happened in the past, you still have that functionality. Okay, so let's actually go through a process really quick. Oh, merging, and the last thing, merging is the act of taking two different paths, two different branches of code, two different paths of the code base, so they've diverged. Okay, you split them up, they've diverged, and now you're ready to put them back together. And so now you are merging the code together. You are taking those changes and you're trying to stick them together. Merging is the scariest part of Git, 100% the most difficult part. Literally everything that you do, all the things that make it difficult, all the tools that you got to learn and stuff, is all to either avoid merge conflicts or to resolve merge conflicts. That's all it is. Everything you're about to do is simply to do that. Rebasing, we'll talk about rebasing. We're not gonna dive deep into rebasing tonight, but we'll talk about what rebasing is. But every tool, exactly, even a rebase is designed to help you with merge conflicts, and they've got some other things, but it's to help you with merging or helping you get code back together. And also that, again, rebasing helps you out with the history of the code base and things like that. But yeah. Okay, so let's see how all of this works. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to take let's take a repository that already exists. Actually, so I didn't tell you about forking. Let's go to I'm gonna keep this repository. This is the repository that I'm gonna use. Whoops. Refresh this page really quick. I'm gonna stick with this repository, okay? I'm gonna copy it real quick. I'm gonna share it with you if you want it. We didn't talk about forking. Real quick, I'm gonna talk about it. What forking does is right now, we cloned this person's repository. This person, his username is Looters. This is his code base. If I made this change, if I commit these changes that I made and I try to push it, it will get rejected because I'm not allowed to push to Looter's account, okay? But we can take this entire code base and its history. It's accessible, so we can take the entire thing, its history, and put it and copy it to our own account, okay? And if we want to do that, we can click this fork button. Just go ahead and click it. It'll say, hey, where do you want to copy this thing to, basically? I'm gonna copy it right over to Mastermind. I have a bunch of different things here, and it'll start to do it. And you can see now, it's now at mastermind/GrimeD. So the whole history is here. Everything is here. So I'm gonna take this. I now have to clone this. This is a completely different repository as far as GitHub is concerned. So now I gotta copy this and I'm gonna go clone it. I'm gonna clone it somewhere. So I'm gonna change directories really quick. I'm gonna go into pipelines. No, let's make a directory called deCoded. And I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna clone this. Okay, just cloned it. Here is what we wanna do. Git fork is just a clone into your GitHub account. Yeah, it just clones it all into your own GitHub account. So now, because this is in my GitHub account, I can push code to it as much as I want. So we just cloned it. Let's start the process out. And I'm gonna keep this. We're gonna start a new one of the, actually, we'll put it right underneath here. Whoa, undo. Let's go ahead and put it underneath here. So, because we might need to draw some things out. So the way that it would work, I need to try to think of a way. Okay, the way that things would work is, let's start from the beginning of the process. Let's start from the beginning. Let's say, no. We'll start. Okay, we'll start right here. I'm developer one. Right now, I have my developer one hat on. I don't have a good way to present myself as developer one, but right now I am developer one, and I have the role of dev one, developer one. My job is to, my feature is to add new instructions to the README. Okay, that is my job. That is the feature that I've been given. That's the job that I currently have. Okay, and now we have dev two. Dev 2's job now is to create, not, it automatically did it. I hate when it does that because you can't delete them. Create, let's see. Let's create a new file, a new helper file that does math. Add and subtract. Whatever. I'm just writing some random stuff as you might do it. Two devs, two different things they might want to do. I'm going to act as both dev one and dev two. Okay. I should have created another GitHub account for this. Whatever. Let's do this. Dev one, we're gonna start out what the process will look like for dev one. Hey, I'm ready to go. What's up, Gifted Lane? How are you doing? Good to see you. Really good to see you, actually. How you doing? Thank you so much, AWR. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. Adri Archives, welcome as well. Coco Loco Popo, welcome to the channel. Gubo, good to have you. Ferning Max, David Graff, Logic Nuts. Again, thank you. You already been talking to the channel. What's up, Yami? I didn't see yet. What's up, Sumone? Let's try that one. Welcome to the channel as well. It's good to have you all here. What's up, Dilly? Dilly. I got water here. Dilly. Good to have you, Dilly Dilly 57. All right, so how would you do this? So I'm dev one. All right, I'm dev one right now. Imagine we are dev one. And I'm gonna go into this repo. And right now I got on my dev one hat and I'm gonna say, cool, let me go ahead and let's branch off of this. Let's create our own history here of this code base. I saw Git in the title and I'm going after a DevNet associate in a couple weeks. Dope, Gifted Lane, 100%. DevNet associate, are you following, do you follow Lab Every Day, Duan at all? He can probably be a good resource. If not, I'll give you his information if you're not already following. I think he works for DevNet now. But yeah, we'll see. It works on the DevNet team at Cisco. Yeah, exactly. That's homie, for sure. Cool. Just want to make sure you brought up DevNet. I don't know a ton of people doing DevNet stuff. That's the only person. So I tried to make the connect where I could. Okay, so I'm developer one and I'm going to make a new branch. How do we make a new branch? Step one is I'm going to use Git checkout -B, and I'm gonna call it feature. My feature is gonna be feature update readme. Bad name for the feature, but it's all good. Please send that over. Let me grab Dewan's. Actually, Gifted Lane, I don't know if you have easy access to Dewan's information. If you could you share it? If not, Derek Sumner, I will share it right after we get to this first part. So I created a new branch. Check this out. How do we check what branch we're on? Git branch will tell us that we are now on the feature update readme branch. Okay, so that is what. Oh, actually, you know what we will do? Here's what we'll do. It'll be the same user, but here's what we'll do. Let's actually go over here. Let's SSH into our sandbox account. We get logged in over here. Okay, so now I'm logged in on my sandbox account. Completely different place. So I have these two things over here. I'm gonna pull one right, one left, if I can. Can I do that? I can't pull this off. Okay, let me. I used that command that you guys told me. Middle clicking really helps. So let's go back over here. And let's do that SSH again. Typed that in wrong. Okay, so let me update the title up here so that you know which one. Rename tab. This is going to be developer 1, and this is going to be developer 2, just so you know who is who. Okay. Make this a little bit larger. Let's also change the colors really quick. Oh no, I broke it. The whole thing's broke. It's not responding. This is sad. I'll change the color over here to red, just so that's very clear. And we'll change whiteboard. Oh wow, it really didn't like that at all. Okay, it's okay. Not a big deal. Oh no, okay, I spelled that right. Rename developer 2. Colors blue. Okay, red versus blue. All right. So developer 1's on the left, developer 2 is on the right. Let's also open this up. Hold on. Let's also open this up and let's move this to desktop 2. So now we can see what our tasks are, and then we can just go back and forth like this and see what we need to do. Excellent. We're using our computer perfectly. Yes, exactly like pen testing, or like the old red versus blue Halo videos, which are really funny. That whole series is amazing. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I'm a big Halo fan. All right, so let's go ahead and over here, I did that. Let's clone our repo really quick also on developers 2's console. Okay, so now we have this. Oh, it's giving me some weird artifacting. What is this called? What is this? Grimd? Where in the world? I cloned it. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Let me make it a little bit smaller, just a little bit. And now you can see developer 1 has a little brain, developer 2 does not. So we cloned it, and developer 2 also at the same exact point, the same point in time, developer 2 also wants to branch off of this. So git checkout -b, and what is developer 2's task? Developer 2's task is to create math. So we're gonna call this feature math helper, whatever. Call it whatever you want to call it. And we did that. So if we do a git branch over here, we can see we're on feature math helper. And if we do a git branch over here, we're on feature update readme. Notice, I want you to notice right now that neither one of these, they both see master, they cannot see each other's branch, all right? I want you to do your best to visually think about this. They cannot see each other's branches. Why? Because right now, both of them are working in a distributed manner, and these branches are only local, okay? They're only listed locally. They've only been created locally, all right? They're only local to each of these people's computers. Whoa. Okay. So developer 1, what does developer 1 go and do? Developer 1 says, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and update that readme. So I'm gonna go to the readme.md, and again, right at the end, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna make a title that says credits. And this entire project was, I'm working on it, was written in a single day by the great one who cannot type, but the great one known as Ron. Okay, that's who's gonna get all the credits right here. The README is now updated with what we need. So we've made some changes. Developer 1, their job was to make some changes to the README. And we can say, all right, Git Diff. And I can check to see if some changes are made. Great. Changes have been made. And I can say, all right, I've now completed what I needed to do. All right, I've now done what I think that I need to do. And so I'm gonna do a Git Status to make sure I know what's going on. So let's really reinforce the basic Git workflow here. And now I'm gonna add in something to the Git workflow, and I'm gonna add it in a number of times. So Git Status. You always use Git Status to check out what's going on. So if I do a Git Status, it says, hey, all right, you've made some changes, but they're not staged for commit, okay? So we're gonna do that. So Git Status, and then once we know what we need to add, so we do a Git Add, okay? So Git Status, Git Add, Git Status, things have changed. Now you're updated on the situation, okay? Now you can see that, hey, I do have changes to be committed now, okay? So Git Status, Git Add, Git Status again, Git Commit, Git Commit -m, updated README with credits. Okay. You should see the next command coming from a mile away. Git Status, Git Add, Git Status, Git Commit, Git Status, okay? Run Git Status in between every single working command. When you run that Git Status command, when you run that Git Commit command, you have effectively, you now have made a point in time save of this thing. Because you've made that point in time save, look at this. If I do a Git LG, it needs to be larger. Let me show it to you. Now, look at the latest spot. This is the latest portion of the code base. It says, hey, updated README with credits 26 seconds ago. This is now the #1 spot in the code base. I've changed the history. This is a history change right here, okay? This little arrow here shows you that I branched off of origin master, okay? I branched off of it, but I haven't merged it back in yet. So we're still on our branch, okay? We're still here. So again, Git branch. But as far as Git knows, Git says, hey, you're all good. You've done your job. So as far as Git is concerned, we've done what we need to do, okay? We've done everything that we need to do. Phenomenal. Very, very excited. So now what can we do? Now, if we're ready, you know, we're done. We need to do a Git push now, okay? And so to make you set the upstream for this branch, this is a brand new branch. So you actually have to set the upstream for every new branch. You only have to do this once. It'll give you the command if you try to push it. It'll give you the command, you copy it in there. You authenticate if, you know, hopefully you're using SSH keys, but I'll type in my username and my password. All right, and so that will now push that new history change. It will push it up to GitHub, okay? You can just say push git push name a branch. So you can do that, but I think if you do that, it won't permanently set up remote tracking. Like it won't set up remote tracking locally. Maybe it does. Maybe it automatically does that now. It didn't used to. So maybe in a newer version it does that. But if you run just git push name a branch, it might not do that. Git tag, you could do a git tag if you wanted to. We didn't use a tag, but you could tag. We could tag this now if we want. If we wanted to tag this as version 2 or something like that, we could do git tag v2. So tags work independently. So you can do 2.0.0, and that will tag this as git version 2.0.0, and then we do a git push -- tags, and that will specifically push the tags by themselves. Whoa. My backspace isn't working. So I can push that now, okay? What you want to do now is now I can go and check GitHub. What's here? I haven't made a change to the master branch. The master branch has not been changed at all. But what now is here is the update README branch is now at the remote. It is now pushed up to GitHub. So this branch is here. I can also see that version 2.0.0 tag is now here as well. So that information, that history is right here, okay? What's up, I Like Coffee? Absolutely. I don't know if I gave you one, but if I did, you're welcome. Absolutely. Also, what's up, Chandra? Welcome, Chandra. Welcome, Narcotic UGR. Welcome to the channel. Bio, it's good to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So now we've pushed this code up, okay, to GitHub. Now, let's say we are developer 2. This whole time, developer 1's been working. We've been working in tandem. Like we've been working in tandem. I know we couldn't do it because we're one person, but developer 2 has been working on their own stuff in tandem. If we do a git branch, we can still only see what's local here. But if you do a git branch -a -a will list out every single branch. Oh, John Wonton. Yes, John Wonton is the person giving out the subs for sure. But yeah, all good. I'm glad you were able to receive one. Congratulations. Please thank John Wonton. All right, so we have these things here, and the ones that are in the red here are showing me what is in the remote. So when I just run git branch, it's only checking the local Git repository for what branches are available. If I do that -a, it checks the ones that are in remote, and take a look at this. Feature update README is now there. So you can say, oh, okay, I see that branch is there. There's another branch there. I don't need to do anything with it, but you know, if there is another branch there, I can see all of them if I want to see that. But that doesn't really matter to me right now. We need to go ahead and do our code. And so this was a Go project. So we're gonna let's vim this up really quick. Let's these are all in the main package. So what we'll do is we'll close this. We'll add a node. We'll call it add dot. Let's call it math.go. All right, we'll open up math.go and we will just write some random stuff. We're just, this is dumb. We're not gonna actually use this for anything, but you know, just simply wanna be able to do some stuff. And again, we wanna add, remember what our task is. Our task is to create a new helper file that does math, adds, and subtracts. So, you know, we'll add here. We'll make a function called add, takes in X and Y that are both integers, returns an integer, and We'll write our code in here. And what is it? Just return X plus Y. And we'll take this, paste it. We'll change this to subtract. And we'll just change this to X minus Y. Great, we've now created a helper function, whatever. Very, very exciting. We wrote some new code. We did what we were supposed to do, okay? Let's actually, no. Let's actually not do that. I want you to see something. We're gonna delete this, okay? We're only gonna do the add. And so commits are good. You should commit often if you've got working things, if you got functionality, committing often is helpful. So, we've got a working thing. So I might say, Git Status. Okay, I got this file here. I wanna, maybe I do a Git Diff to make sure I know what's going on. And I say, okay, well, why didn't that Git Diff math.go? Whoops. This is a good thing to talk about really quick too. And I spelled math wrong. Now, when I did Git Diff on math.go, why didn't anything happen? Like when I made a change, we can see through Git Status that I have made a change. How come it's not showing me that? It's not showing me that because math.go is a completely new file. It's completely new. I just created it and Go has no idea. Git has no idea that I want this file to be tracked. There's no history of this file, so it can't tell me what's different because there's no history of this file. As soon as I do a git add math.go, it now sets it up. So I did a git add, so I'm gonna do a git status. And now if I do a git diff, it's still not gonna show me anything because this file isn't part of the history yet, okay? So it's not part of the history at all. So it's not gonna show you that thing for new files, but this is a brand new file that was here. I'm gonna do a git commit -m added helper function, helper file with complete add function. I only added the add function here, okay? So I committed that, okay? That is a change in the history. If I do a git lg here, I don't have git lg logged on there. If I do a git log, I can see that the latest thing is added helper file with complete add function. That's great. So I've created one, what in the world? I've created one commit here, but I'm not done yet. Even though I've created a commit here, I'm not done yet. I still need to do some more work, okay? So let's add in another piece. We're jumping back and forth. Let's go back to as if we were developer one. What's up, Earth Deshaun? Welcome to the channel. Good to have you. Genius love baby. A genius of love baby. Okay, got it. Welcome to the channel. What's up, P Doog? Welcome. Halo Droid, welcome. Good to have you here. We're almost, we're kind of almost done. I think we're getting there. We learned a little bit about Git tonight, or a lot about Git tonight. All right, so developer 2 has done half of their assignment. They're still working, they're still, doing their stuff. Maybe they're done for the day, they're ready to go home. Developer 1 is kind of done and is ready to go, has already committed their stuff. So developer 1 is going to submit a pull request, okay? The way that you do that is you click the pull request button up here. And you can just click the button here when you push a new branch, it'll help you. But I'm gonna use the new pull request button to show you how to set it up. And what you wanna do is you want to pick where you want it to go. So I want it to go to the master branch. I want to merge into the master branch from this branch that we have. So I changed this feature update readme. The little arrow shows you the direction that is gonna be merged. So you wanna take the thing that you worked on and you wanna push it into the main branch. And so we'll put that over here. This is the one that we worked on. We'll push it into the main branch, okay? It's gonna show you the files that have been updated. I'll click create pull request. I can put some information here like maybe there's a ticket number and so I can put like this ticket number here and I can say my task was to do this, was to complete blah, whatever. You can assign people to this, whatever. You create the pull request. The pull request now exists inside of the repository. Anyone who's in this repo can see it right up here. And then you go in, like let's say I'm developer 2, and I say, okay, I gotta take a break from what I'm doing. Developer 2 comes in and says, all right, let me go look at this. I can see that there was one commit. I look at this here and I look at it and I say, oh, cool. Like, I really like, I can leave a comment. I really like how you did this all yourself. you dapper young fellow. You know, something kind like that is something that you might say to your fellow developer. And you know, click start review if you want or whatever, and you can put some notes there. But I can, if everything's good, if I think that everything's good, I can approve this thing. So there's a pending comment. That was dumb that I submitted that comment because now I have to actually check the comment. But once you're ready to go, because I'm the one who entered this, I kind of, it's kind of weird in the way that I'm doing this. Oh, perfect. Someone actually submitted one. This is great. This is actually super helpful, actually. Let me, you know, oh, I see you're gonna, okay. I'm with it. I'm with it. And I like it. I'm gonna prove this. I'm gonna merge yours and not mine. So everyone, you can actually submit pull requests, what's called upstream to someone else's repository. It is possible through forking. So someone did this, Farino did this and actually submitted code changes. Notice how their code is different from my code. This entire project was written in a single day by the great one known as Mikiro. And so, you know, I'll accept that. I will accept it. And that's the code that we're gonna accept here. All right, and so I've accepted it. Now I'm gonna merge it into my code, all right? Only ones with those right access can, wait, I don't have right access? Approve the changes. This is actually kind of weird, actually. I can merge it manually, but usually there's a button that will allow this. I don't know why I can't see the button. Am I in the wrong pull thing? Oh, I'm on looters. Okay. You're right, thank you. Good catch. Very good catch. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Thank you. Okay, so someone else, Lexar Flash is okay, is gonna get the update for ours instead of me. Okay, they pulled the name off. That's fine. That's much more, you know, that makes a lot more sense. I will approve it. I approve this code. This branch has conflicts that must be resolved, okay? So now there are issues with the code base. There are issues with these things that must be resolved, and we can resolve them. So it sounds like we can automatically resolve them or use the web editor. I'm gonna click web editor so I can see the changes. And so this is what it looks like, okay? Oh, it actually looks like mine was already pushed in. Oh, you pushed it into my branch. Okay, got it, never mind. So I'll do this. So it's kind of showing us, I wasn't really reading what was happening. It's showing us the differences. So this is a merge conflict, okay? I wasn't paying attention at all, to be honest. Got it. You pushed it into, so this person did a pull request into the branch that I wrote. Okay, so the branch that I wrote had this data in it. All right, written a single day by Aaron. The proposed changes are this entire project was written in a single day. The code, Git can't automatically merge these two things together. It's confused about what to do. It doesn't know what to do. So it's asking us basically which one it wants us to take, okay? I like my stuff, so I'm gonna still merge this, but I'm gonna take my stuff. So I'm going to manually update it here to have what it's supposed to have, okay? And I've taken my changes because I'm amazing and I need it here. The good thing though is that this person will still get credit. Lexar Flash will still get credit, I believe, as someone who pushed code to this repository. And now I never do it through the editor here. So am I done? It feels like I should be done. But when I clicked pull request, my changes aren't saved. I never do them through here. I don't know why I did it through here. Hold on, maybe there's a button. Oh, there we go. Commit merge. There we go. So once you resolve those changes, you now commit it, and now it's in this thing, okay? And then I can merge this pull request, confirm merge. Now that data is now into my branch. But I'm gonna go ahead and push both of these. This last pull request. Hey, add my code. All right, I'm gonna approve this too. This is the last one I'm approving though. There's no code here, but there's 2 commits. Oh, that's because I already did it. Okay, cool. It's already been merged. Great, very, very exciting. I'm gonna make a pull request really quick to merge this into master. Great, view pull request. And then now it's going to try to do this. This branch has no conflicts. Oh, I'm tripping. Okay, I did it again. I did it twice. I'm tripping. Look at, pay attention to what you're doing. Take a look, pay attention to what you're doing. This is the problem. I assumed it was just set to the right thing. I need to merge into my own repository here. Yeah, there we go. So now I can confirm and I can create this pull request. Okay, I did it twice in a row. Now that it's actually going to mine, I'm gonna merge this pull request, okay? Great, it's merged, it's good to go. I can delete this branch. Now, if I go back to master, the master branch now has updates, okay? So the master branch now has updates. So here's what's happened so far. Here's what's happened. Developer 1 and developer 2, red and blue, they started their code. They branched off of the same branch at the same time. Two different branches of code. They went from here. They both went, one went left, one went right with their code base. This developer 1 did some work and has already put their stuff back into the main area. Developer 2 is still doing some work, has already made a change, but it's still doing some work, okay? All right, before developer 2 can put their code back into the main branch, they must get the code that's right here. They must get this code. They must get this code or they must merge it in. Fine, you must make that magic happen. And so here is generally what you would do. What you might want to do is you might say, okay, cool, there's updated data. I'm gonna pull that data. I wanna manually pull that data down into my branch here. So I'm a big fan of rebasing. I'm not gonna do rebasing here. I'm going to merge it. And so what you would do is you would do something like this. You would say git, because I never do this, let me see. Can you just fetch master? And I can do git fetch master, no I can't. So I'm gonna do a git, hold on, first off, let's do a git status, see where we're at. I'm gonna check out master just so we can see what's happening here. I'm gonna git check out master, or is it main? Okay, so I'm on main now. I'm on the master branch. Luckily, my CSH tells me I have a download here. It says, hey, your branch is behind origin master by 5 commits, okay? By 5 whole commits, we are behind master. All right, so we're no longer working on the old branch, we're working on this new branch. If I do a git pull, it downloads all of the stuff. Okay, it wants me to update some global stuff, but that's fine. The changes that it made, it pulled down those 5 commits, but it pulls down the changes to this file. You can see that the README got 3 new lines. All right, that's what was added. 1 file change, 3 things were inserted. Great, phenomenal. We're good to go here. What's up, Abyss? How are you doing? I don't know looters yet. Look, first off, random repo, look at this. We use random repo. It's public, we can use it. Randomrepo.com, you click the button, it gives you a random repo. We're using it, all right? We're using it and we're doing a good job, all right? We forked it and everything. All right, poor guy, he's gonna be so confused. Well, oh, you're right. I should go delete those, actually. If I don't do it now, I'm not gonna do it. But I kinda, all right, we should do it now. Let's go delete those. He is gonna be very confused. What if he accepts it though? He might accept it. What if he accepts the one that says this whole thing was created in a day by Aaron? That would be amazing. All right, so these pull requests are now here. Oh, I really did that. Oh, I forgot I put these things in here. I forgot I put this comment in here. Even better, I kind of want to leave this here. I'm not gonna lie, looters, if somehow you ever see this, this is actually very, very exciting. I commented on my own. This is phenomenal. I kind of want to just see if he responds to this. I'm gonna leave it. We'll check on. We will check on this another day. We're gonna leave this here. We're gonna check back. All right, let me. I'm gonna add that line. I feel bad. So Cincinnati, I am gonna add that. No, I'm not. Add it or don't. Let me know right now. Add the line. Should I add a comment saying this was for educational purposes on Twitch, or should I just not? You all let me know. I will do whatever the consensus is for don't add it. So we got 1 and 1. Let's see. Okay, we got another added. We also got another don't. Don't add it. We're kind of even. Don't do it. Oh, you guys are killing me right now. Add it and see if they respond. Okay. But so here's a problem. I feel like if I add it, then it's gonna seem like I'm trying to use this to like promote the brand or something like that. I'm doing it. Because I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. There we go. Let's see what happens with it. We'll see if we get any responses over this thing. All right, so now over here, over back to what developer 2 does. Now developer 2 has these changes, okay? Now developer 2 has these changes. So I'm gonna check out my other branch. Actually, so now we can merge these changes into our other branch. So we can do git merge, and we can merge this branch into feature math helper, okay? And when it does it, it's gonna go through and start to create its own commit. When you do a merge, it's gonna create a point in time change because you are changing everything and nothing's really happening here. And now, whoops, I actually did that the wrong way. That's my bad. I never merge. I did that the complete wrong way. But no big deal. Actually, no, here we go. I can do git reset. Up. There we fatal ambiguous head. Git status. Working on 2 commits. Git. See, I already got myself. You can close them. You can't delete them. I already feature math helper. All right, so I already merged the wrong way. Either way, whatever. We'll fix this in a second. But what I would need to do is on the, if I do a git checkout. Wait, actually, what is it? Git revert. Git revert. I didn't. How do I go back 1 commit? I didn't commit yet though. I didn't commit. I merged. How do I? Well, I did because I did a merge. See, I never merge. I never merge for this. For this reason. Let me get. I can just do the git log, and I can go back to this. Math go still here. Git status. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. RF math go. All right, cool. We're back to where we were. I fixed it. So really what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to do git checkout. After I got the updates here, I got the updates from the master repo, the master branch, and now I'm gonna merge them into my own stuff so I have all the latest. Git merge master. I hate merges actually. And so now it pulled the updates to the README. It pulled them down to this branch. It pulled them over to this branch, to the feature math helper. And if I look at the README, if I tail the README, this is here, okay? If I tail the README, it's there. All right. Now that it's there, I have all the updates and stuff that I need. Everything's good to go. I'm going to make the final changes to my math file. All right, so I'm gonna add a subtract really quick. I'm gonna add a subtract function really quick. And we'll change this to subtract. Let's call it just sub. Let's call it sub instead of that, and it'll be a subtract. Save it. Git status. Math.go. Git add. Math.go. Git status again. So git status, git add, git status, git commit. Added. Subtract. Function. Git status, make sure you're good to go. And it says nothing to do. If we do a git log, we can see now there's a commit where we added the subtract function. Now we can do this git push here, -u origin, feature math helper. Okay, so now git add -p. I don't actually know what that add -p does. What does the -p do for add? So now if I go to my actual thing here, if I go to mastermind, IO, it allows you to select chunks to stage. I didn't know that. I've never used that before. So now I will check that out. That sounds pretty interesting. Repositories, grimed. Okay, so this new branch is here now. It wasn't here before, but it's here now. So I can do a pull request. Okay, and this time I'm gonna make it not go to looters. I'm gonna make it go to my own, and we'll create the pull request. So developer 2 has now created a pull request. Developer 1 will come in and say, let me take a look at what's changed. I can see different things happen here, and I can see that only one file was changed, and ultimately this has been what is different now. So phenomenal, that's great, that's very, very exciting. And so I can say, all right, as developer 1, I would like to, let me go back here. Whoops. I can go in here and I can say, things look good to me. I wrote this, so I don't need to approve it. And I can merge it in. Merge pull requests. Confirm merge, it gets merged in. Now, the master, master has all of the updated things, okay? And now, so you can see we made 9 changes since when we forked this over. Since we forked this from looters, we now have made 9 changes. Now, it's very important to know that these changes, now that they're in GitHub, that does not mean each of these developers has these changes. So now that when developer 1 wants to start their next assignment or their next thing, they need to go to master. Now they need to do a pull. They need to do git pull to update their master branch, because look, the changes to the README are here and the changes to math.go are here. Now they've got the whole history here. And if you do git LG, you can start to see everything that's in there, okay? So this is when we merge this stuff. But notice, add subtract function, merge pull request here, merge pull request here, update README with credits. So all the information that we did is here, and you can start to see how things branched off to the right, new branches were added, and how they were merged back down into the main one. Eventually, you'll figure out how to read something like this. But yeah, that is a workflow of 2 developers pushing code, a very light example. And I messed up. I actually made a mistake that I had to reset out of during that process when I was doing it all by myself. So yeah, this was not to, tonight was not to get you to be a Git pro. It takes a while to be really, really good at Git. You'll forget things. I forget things all the time. And we will run the Git Masterclass very soon. I'll have an announcement up pretty soon about it. We'll run the full Git Masterclass where we'll go much more in depth to each of these topics. You won't be learning 2 nights worth of stuff in a single night, and we'll get to practice a little bit more. We'll have some guided workflows of those things. If you want to learn more about Git, tonight was just to take you deeper. You know, as you're starting your journey, I wanted you, again, just see it, be familiar, like, oh, dang, like this Git tool, we learned a little bit about it. Now I know it does like 10 other things. I don't really know what we did tonight, but like, I know that I can do more to manage my code. There's even more. There's so much more that we can do. Hopefully you got something out of tonight. Can you pull the GitHub side from your remote command line? Can you pull on the GitHub side? So that is what's happening. When I run this git pull, it is pulling. Oh, are you saying the opposite? No. Pull on the GitHub side from your remote command line. That's what a push is for. You push. You can't do that. You can't pull to GitHub. You push to GitHub. But good question. Pretty good question, Nitro Sage. Very interesting. I never would have thought about that. Cool. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Like I said, hopefully you got a little bit out of it. Git is pretty cool. I highly encourage you to dive into some more Git stuff, just to mess around with it. It's something good to practice with. It's incredibly useful on a job. You're going to need to know this. Whether you want to do DevOps, SRE, software engineering, web development, whatever you want to do, Git is becoming pretty ubiquitous. Everything uses code now. Software is eating the world, and you're gonna need to know how to do these things, and Git is how you're gonna use Git, 100%. So tomorrow, if you are interested, if you want to come do some coding, tomorrow is Friday, which is Horizons, a journey into cloud computing with AWS. Tomorrow we are doing a CloudFormation and CDK workshop. So we'll spend about an hour and a half on CloudFormation and an hour and a half on Amazon CDK, the Cloud Developer Kit. There will be nothing but coding tomorrow. There's concepts that go along in there, but there's nothing but coding tomorrow. So if you want to come through and you're interested in understanding how to provision cloud resources inside of AWS utilizing code, come on through. We're gonna do a little workshop on that. And then next week we're gonna be doing some Terraform stuff in pipelines. And in here, I don't know what we're doing next week. What are we doing next week here? We must be doing something fun, which would be errors. Oh yeah, we're handling into error handling and exceptions next week, and more problem solving. But we will dive deeper into solving algorithms. We'll learn tangible ways to break down and solve problems next week as well. But we're also going to learn how to handle errors and stuff before we do that. That's what we're doing. I do not know what Amazon CDK is. Yeah, so Amazon CDK is Cloud Developer Kit. It allows you to write code, to write JavaScript, to write TypeScript, or to write Java, or to write C++, to generate, to provision Amazon resources. So you can write JavaScript code, some TypeScript that says, hey, Amazon, I would like an EC2 instance, so I would like a server that's connected to these networks, that has this much RAM, this much hard drive space, that has this type of access to things. I also want an S3 bucket, and you just, you pass it, you provision, and everything's good to go. If you've ever seen something called Pulumi, the CDK is just like Pulumi. Yes, so I agree. I'm a Terraform fan. I agree, Terraform is the way to go, but this is specific to, that course is specifically around Amazon and for people taking the Amazon exams, the AWS exams, and you do need to be familiar with CloudFormation and the CDK, not necessarily for the exams, but if you're diving into Amazon, you should be familiar with those. HashiCorp for the win. I 100% agree with you. HashiCorp, I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna send it to you. We want you here. HashiCorp, we love you. Mitchell, we're probably not on a first name basis, but I would love for you to come on through, say hello. I would love for you to help our community learn more about your products, be able to explore more. I don't know what that means. I'll leave that up to you to think about, but we just would love your presence and your help on becoming great out here. We love Terraform, we love Packer, we love Consul, we love Vault, we love it all, okay? We love it. What can you, we just want to learn how to use your stuff. That's all. We want to learn how to use your products to go be great, to make a little bit of money, to make the world a better place. Oh, HashiCorp is your second best friend after me. I appreciate that. That makes that melts my heart, especially as someone who also loves HashiCorp. I appreciate that. Vagrant is pretty, yes, Vagrant's amazing. Been using Vagrant for years, all the amazing tools that you brought to the infrastructure space. We appreciate you, HashiCorp. Come and talk to us, HashiCorp. Come and talk to us, please. Bring the jobs our way too, HashiCorp. I know you guys are hiring for some cool roles. We want to work we want to work there. All right. We want to know what to do. We want to get some HashiCorp swag and shirts and stuff like that, and jobs and whatever you want to offer, HashiCorp. We're here. We got stuff to offer. We've been learning. Having a good time. But cool. That's it. We're all done for tonight. I am going to go. So my beautiful wife so graciously brought home some, usually I'm very hungry at the end of the stream, but right before the stream started, she brought home some amazing quesadillas from a place called Clavel's here in Baltimore. Phenomenal place. If you have a chance to go, please make your way to Clavel's because it is phenomenal. But we got some quesadillas, some quesadillas that tasted so amazing, but we still have tacos left. We also had some tres leches cake. It was so good. She's such an angel. I will always be forever in her debt for bringing home these amazing delicacies. And now I'm going to go eat the tacos. Okay, I'm going to go eat some tacos right now and do some more work. Keep an eye out. I plan on fixing all of the YouTube videos tonight, so you should see those published fairly shortly. Yeah, that's it. Who are we gonna go over and raid this evening? Also, real soon we're gonna be coming up on pretty imminent baby watch. So I will, we got to make some type of we got to make something to, just to notify everyone that we are on baby watch. Alt F4 is on. We got to head over to Alt F4. We have to. He's never on this late, I feel like. Alt F4 stream, if you've never been over there, he's over there building some amazing stuff. That's what's up with Go. Amazing person all around. Good dude. Someone I love to call my friend. But yeah, how many kids? This is our first. This is our first child. Me and my wife have been together. We've known each other. We met in college. We've been together at this point, I guess, going on 11 years or 12 years. 11, 12 years. We've only been married. We're coming up on 4 years of marriage. But yeah, we've been together for a long time. But our first child. We got bit by the by the COVID bug. You're just in the house, and that's life. The birds and the bees. Okay, that's just kind of how it happens. But we're excited. We're definitely excited about it. But yeah, but we're our due date is March, is in mid-March, but we're gonna be coming up soon, when they say, hey, kind of anything can kind of happen. So we'll see. How am I first in 2019? Get ready for all to change. I'm already ready for it. I know it's gonna change. I'm aware. It is what it is. Luckily, one good part about everything that's happening right now is that, this is sad for you all, but you can't travel right now. Okay, you're not about to be posting pictures of you in Cabo and all around the world and making me have FOMO and being sad because I can't travel the world. So this is great for me. I can learn how to be a father, without having all of you just rubbing in my face that you just have your freedom and you can do whatever you want. So you'll be at home just like me. We'll all be watching the same Netflix shows together. Maybe we'll have a watch party. So, it is what it is. But we're gonna go ahead and raid the Alt F4. Let them know we said hello. From what I learned, you'll be too tired for the next year. That's fair. I don't get a lot of sleep anyway, so I'm just gonna keep along with that path. I'm not getting a lot of sleep, so hopefully it'll help. Are the deadlines for homework assignments? No, there are no deadlines for homework assignments. I have a ton of stuff to post for you guys that got broken in the shuffle of things. You're behind 4 homework assignments and 2 quizzes. So keep an eye out for those 2. I'm gonna drop them all out on you at once. There's no due date for these things. Once you finish them all, even when the course is done, because I dropped them late, you'll still get your course completion stuff. So don't worry about that at all. But I'll definitely get it to you. Just been a lot going on. You're an amazing teacher. I appreciate that. Rose, I really do appreciate it. That makes me feel really good. It's very encouraging. Program hours are actually pretty compatible with being a parent, oddly. See, there we go. But peace out, everyone. I got to go eat some more of these tacos and get to work. I will see you all tomorrow or next week or whenever. Peace out, y'all.